I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna 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 turn it up and then I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
Oh, evening, afternoon, close to either one. How's people doing? I'm still taking people are just as pissed off as I am, basically. Do you know what? I don't see many of them at the moment. I know there's a couple of good shows on tonight to watch, which I'm definitely going to be watching as well. So I thought, do you know what? There's enough people always got their thing to say. The link's up there. This will go on depending how many people want to come on and say their bit. I've put the link on there now. The link's at the top as well. Come on and say what you got to say about this. This whole thing is a complete and utter mess. I think my picture there just about says it all. When it comes to the football side of things, we know for a fact Levy is cooking us and leaving us in smoke and ashes, basically. He is absolutely done us up like a fucking kipper when it comes to this one. And I'm one who gives him credit on his business and whatever out of the football. Do you know what? Fuck him. This one, I think, was the one for me. I've defended the bloke enough times on the business side, and yes, he could get his hotel shit and his stadiums right and everything else and that. Yeah, he can do that sort of stuff. But you know what? He just can't seem to get it right where it matters, and that's the football. I know you need both sides of it. The business is important as well, but on the football, this prick cannot get it right come love nor money. So the time this goes on just depends who wants to come on and say their piece. Everybody's welcome. I've already got someone in the background. I'll come to you in a minute. I'm just going to say hello to a couple of people quickly. God, and I do, sorry if I do sound a bit loud. It's these new bloody AirPods plugged in. I can't even hear myself talk. So if I'm a bit loud, it's not me shouting. It's just where I can't even bloody hear myself at the moment. But seriously, come on, people. Come on and say what you want. If a few people come up at the same time, I'll have you all on at the same time. Come on and say what you want. There's enough people out there who always got something to say. And I think now is the perfect time to do it. So I'll say hello to a couple of people quick, and then I will come to the guest I've got on the side here. Drula is evening down the chat. Evening to you. Hope you're good. The workers reading room. Good morning from Canada. Yeah, morning, mate. God, is it morning in Canada? I would have thought it's afternoon by now. I thought you're only 5 hours behind us. And Jessica, hi Drew, hi all, hi to you. And Daniel, big up. What's that? DJ Spurs fact. Yeah, I can't even read that properly. I mean, but yeah, Dan, big up, mate. Anyway, Drula, hi, Jess, Brian, yeah, hi, everyone. How you doing, mate? Joel also saying, Daniel, like the name change, definitely different. Look, come on, people, come on here and say it as you want it. We've got about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the big show starts that I'm sure we're all going to be very interested in watching because I know I'm going to grab a couple of beers for that one. And we'll go to that. But come on. I want some people on here to say what they actually think. The pin is at the top. I'll keep putting it on here. Let's see if people can come on here and say their bit. And Dan, big up Drew and that, saying how we feel right now. Dejected, big up. Yes, we do. Tarek, hi Dan, you're right, fella. Jay also saying, hi Dan, could we get a Barella from Inter? I wish we bloody could. I don't see that one happening. But that wouldn't be one I'd say no to as such. But then they haven't managed to get hold of Lookman either, have they? And Howlin also said, big up Dan, big up to you too. And Boomverse, evening, and big up Dan and all evening to you, mate. Oh dear, SK, why are Spurs not going for Lookman? What did I just say? And I hadn't even read that yet. He's available. I don't think he's quite what we need as the number 10, but he's definitely better than what we got. Mark, evening all. Tony, always on here, mate. Always good to see you. Big up Dan and chat. And also, M saying, Levy cooking masterclass. Cook so much we burn. Right, I'm going to jump 2 people on here straight away. Regular that usually comes on to see me and someone else who will come on. Okay, we got 3 people here. Do you know what? I'll have all 3 of you on at the same time. Take you one by one, give you 2 minutes each. And here we go. Ryan, how we doing, fella? I take it you're a bit pissed off.
Pissed off's not the right word. I need to have a vent, mate, because my mental health has gone downhill in the last 24 hours because of this. It's a shit show. Daniel Levy, get the fuck out of our club. Sorry, I'm swearing so much, but I'm needing to vent.
Say what you want, mate.
Well,
Levy, and quick thing, Savaloy Master, do me a favour, mate, and show your picture, show your face, please, mate. It does actually help. Go on, carry. There we go.
Yeah, right.
Bring you two on it. Just let him have his rant. I'll let you have your rant, and then you can all come on.
Daniel, please get the hell out of our club, sell up and fuck off, because you have pissed everyone off, and you've now, right, really got me to a point where I do not want this club to go down any further anymore. So fucking sell up and get out of our club, because you have done too much damage to this club now. And seeing this go to as they go to the Arsenal, thanks a lot. Because now you've really hacked off every single fan in this club, at this club, the fan base at this club now. So please just sell up and get out. And if you don't, there'll be a lot more people protesting. Right.
I'll bring on the next one and we can all have a chat. I'll be with you in a minute. It's D-Trix. Savaloy Master, like your name, different. How you doing, fella? First time I've seen you.
Doing well. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you all right.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm mostly pissed off with Levy because he charges 90 quid for average Premier League tickets. See, this crap siphoning off everyone's money is too much for average fans to pay. Like, I watched the highlights, there was plenty of empty seats at Spurs game. Don't think I've ever seen that before.
Well, I mean, with what's happened, how are you feeling about this?
It's a bit disappointing. I never really thought it was going to happen. I thought Arsenal was bound to go and just grab them off us anyway. So never really had hopes on it, but not surprised.
Do you know what? When it comes to it, I'm surprised anyone was surprised. But do you know what? I thought this one we might just have it. And Saviano, I don't think that one's going to happen. I didn't think that was going to happen. But I thought, you know what, Eze, this could happen. But if he would have just done the same thing again, like I have said to a lot of people, put the money on the table. Yes, I know there's depth to it and everything else and that, but it was blatantly obvious. The money was on the table. We spent a long time. So Arsenal just went, you know what? There you go. There's what you want. And thank you. Come again. Frustrating is an understatement. Dietrich, how you doing, fella?
I'm good. How are you?
Same Spurs, different day, innit?
Yeah, same Spurs as different days. Okay, I'm gonna take a different approach. I don't understand why people are mad with this. We didn't get Eze. It was pretty obvious. I can give you years and years and years and years and years and years of evidence that Levy cannot get a big time player. I can name you Dybala, I can name you Skriniar, I can name you Bastoni. I can keep on going and going. People need to realize one thing. Eze was an Arsenal fan from the beginning. And if Spurs, which we can all agree, we're not professionals, we don't have any association with the industry, but release clauses are the easiest things to do. It's that simple. Go to the club, ask the conditions, put the money down, ask the player if he wants to come in. That's it, that's all. But guess what? Levy, penny pinching, cents after cents after cents, and look what happens. So guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. Stop listening to those ITKs on Twitter. They don't know anything when it comes to Spurs. Spurs have a reputation of misleading people, and they do it on purpose. Look at this morning. Everyone was saying Spurs after their attention to Morgan Rogers and stuff. Guys, we're not going to get him. I promise you it's not going to happen. When you leave stuff at the last minute, like any businessman, anyone in life, leave it last minute, you're not getting what you want, or you have to pay double the price. And I promise you one thing. The only reason as it did not come to Spurs, first of all, it's we didn't pay the money, and second of all, it's wages. So any players we're trying to get now, we're not going to pay the wages, and we're going to get another 20-year-old. So next time people tell me we need Champions League, Premier League finishing and higher up in the Premier League table is important, I'm telling you this right now, it's useless at Spurs under this ownership. Trophies matters. That's the only thing we can get. So let's stop with the top four nonsense, the Champions League. We need the Champions League to attract better players. I've seen Spurs attract better players where they're not in Europe. Look at Van de Ven, Madison, Porro, Kulu. Let's stop with this nonsense, people. We're not get any better, and we're not going to get the big time players. Stop getting emotionally attached with these idiots.
Do you know what? I can go with part of what you're saying. So with what Dietrich has just said there, go on, Brian, Savloy, say as you wish. Go for it.
Look, right, first of all, there's not a part that I don't agree with him, but then there's a part that I really don't agree with him. There's parts what I mean is there's parts that I agree with him and there's parts that I don't.
Right? I get where you're going.
Yeah, so like with bits where it's not, we shouldn't get a Champions League because with the money wise, I agree with that, because quite clearly Levy doesn't put down the money when it does seem to come out. So I agree with that. But what I don't agree with, right, is that the wages, we've got more than enough. We was prepared to offer him a good wage. So why is it that you're then saying that, well, the wages are a problem? Because they really wasn't decent.
No, it's a discussion, bro. No.
Hang on, Dietrich, let him finish what he's saying.
Yeah, no. We're going back and forth. No. What you said is 100% right. But good wages for you is not good wages for Eze. Look at Havertz, for example. He's getting 350 grand a week. Are we going to offer that to Eze? Let's be fair. The highest... No, we won't. Levy has his... Imagine Harry Kane, a legend at Spurs, was making 250 grand a week. What are we doing here? If you want to get the players, you got to pay over the odds. Look at Man City. They have like 25 players over 200 grand a week.
if you got to pay the wages. But from what I know, Ezzy had already accepted a deal with us and everything and that. And if we would have just put the fucking money on the table, it would have happened a week ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
Savloy, what do you think on this? With what's being said here?
I think we're set up to make these big signings. Yeah, Levy can't put them over the line.
He can't. He just don't seem to put it over the line. But do you think it goes any deeper than that? Or is this just purely down to Levy that he can't do his bloody job? I mean, I think we all know the answer, but I'm just asking your opinion on the whole thing. Go into a bit more detail with it. Why didn't this
Levy's
happen?
obviously in his own laughing it didn't happen. One, because he's an Arsenal fan, but mostly just Arsenal have a bigger pool, and we have to bet too much with it. That's our 3 reasons. We should have just perhaps we could have done better providing Crystal Palace with an alternative option, but I don't think they've still not got an option, yet he's going to Arsenal. So I think maybe that's a cover up. The fact that Levy is just being a bit of a knob towards what's the Palace owner? Steve Parish.
Yeah. What do you reckon the whole thing was just basically a setup with Arsenal sitting on the back line basically and just waiting for us to sort the deal out and then just come in and just put the extra 5, 6, 7 million in there, whatever, and then say they'd pay it better? Do you reckon that the whole thing was just basically worthless?
I mean, that could be likely. It sounds like the type of thing Spurs would be involved in just because it's where we are, mate.
Do you know, that wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, Ryan, do you think this could have actually happened?
Yeah, I think if we had moved, like I'm more on the side of you where you've been saying if we had just slapped that money down a week ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago, we would have got him because the wages weren't a problem, the personal terms weren't a problem. All we had to do was just slap it down. But I don't just blame Tottenham for that part of it. I also blame Parish because he was trying to fiddle and fart arse about with all these other little bits as well, Dan. From what I've been hearing anyway. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I've been hearing. But I blame Levy for not just putting down what Parish wanted. But then at the same time, I blame Parish for keep fiddling and fart-arsing about. So that's what's really pissed me off the most. Is that both are in the problem, are both wrong.
No. I can't agree with that one, mate. You cannot blame the Palace manager, owner, for messing about. Just like everyone else, he wants more money. Do you really think he's going to say, do you know what? I'll just go with Levy's deal and that's that, unless it is the only deal on there. Like anyone else, they're going to squeeze every money out of you that they can. In that aspect, every owner of a club is exactly the same. It's just they don't deal with buying players the same way, yeah? I mean, why would you accept, let's say, a 55 plus 5 million off of Spurs with, we pay you, say, 8 million a year, just a random example on that. When Arsenal come in and say, we give you the same thing and we give you another 2 million and we'll pay you 12 million a year. You're going to wait for the better deal, aren't you?
That's a good question because it depends on a few things. And I'm probably using my Spurs hat on here a bit more than I should probably do. But I would always go, if this was me, and I don't blame Eze as much in this as most people probably do. I would take the offer if my boyhood club had offered me whatever and Arsenal offered me something. I would take my boyhood club over Arsenal any day of the week. But then that's just me. Maybe that's just because I've got my Spurs hat on. Maybe, but.
I mean, Dietrich, with what I said there,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I cannot blame the Palace owner for anything on this. I mean, he's doing his bloody job there. I mean, what do you think on that comment?
Well, first of all, he has 3 years left on his contract. He's an important asset to Crystal Palace. Why should they negotiate a lower price? If I tell you it's 65 million, it's 65 million. Deal with it or not, or keep moving on. I'll never understand people that say we have to go for 5 million, 10 million. There's no point. Just go, pay the money, move forward. Imagine Solanke. Did we hassle with Bournemouth? No. They said 65 million, we paid 65 million. Same thing with Richarlison. The only reason we want to do this because we don't like the terms. We don't like that we want to spend, let's say, 20 million a year on his transfer. And that's the only reason why we never got the player. And I'm sorry, Parrish did the right thing. I will never blame him. It's all on Levy and these stupid scouts we have. Read the room. You don't have Maddison. Everyone knows Maddison is injured, so now they're going to take the piss out of you. And that's how football and that's how businessmen do. They're going to hassle you for every penny you have. And Parrish, honestly, fair play to him. He lied to Levy. He took the piss out of Levy. And now Fabrizio just tweeted that Eze is not going to play tonight on the Conference League game.
Yep.
And apparently he wanted to play next game. So guys,
and we all thought he was waving goodbye. I mean, what do you think of that? A couple of people on the chat. I've got 158 on here. I'm surely there's a few that have got something to say in here. I don't think you're going to get many call-in shows anymore. I'm only going to give it a chance or two. So come on and say something. Surely there's enough pissed off people out there that want to let something out. I mean, I keep calling you Savaloy? I just call you Master, mate. It sounds better. What do you think on that one? Do you think that the Palace owner has got any blame to take for this? Or is he just doing his bloody job?
He's a Palace owner who's doing his job. Levy has not put the deal over the line, or he's been stupid about it, and that's caused the deal not to go through. There's nothing to blame with Crystal Palace manager, owner. If we had Steve Parish, we'd probably be winning Premier Leagues with the funding this club's got.
With the attitude that they have as well, isn't it? I mean, it is just the same thing over and over again. How many times have we had a deal on the table and he's pissballed about of it so much that someone else has just come in and took the deal from straight under our nose? I mean, how many times has it happened?
But then, even to the point, like, when other clubs know that you lack in the player or you have a hole in that team, of course they're going to take the piss out of you. I don't get it. Spurs had 2 injuries on number 10 and you don't want to spend 65 million. And apparently we have the net income, like 300 million that the club just put in. And apparently we're going to get a stadium naming rights. 65 million in this day and age is nothing. Especially at Eze quality, and you know he's a prime proven. So what more do we want? Do you want to spend 65 million on a proven talent that's 27-year-old and still has like at least 4 years of his prime? Or go spend 35, 40 million on another 20-year-old? I'm sorry, it's a shambles, but I don't understand why people are mad. It was pretty obvious. Morgan gets well with the first strike, and now it's Eze. We're not going to get anyone, and there's 10 days left in the window. People, buckle up. It's going to be a terrible season.
It's definitely looking like it's going to be a hard one, isn't it? I mean, I won't do that. It's like, well, big up, Brian. How you doing, mate? I mean, Levy's epic failures and NX enabling has ripped the soul out of this football club. We as fans need to act and show them that it isn't acceptable. It is at that point. This was that bit for me where I won't even defend him what he's done on the fucking business side. I try and be an open person to everybody in the aspect of I try and look on both sides because there's always 2 sides to a story. And yeah, I can talk about what he's done. Do you know what? Fuck him. In that aspect, this was the one for me that really got to me. He's done the rest. It's done and dusted now. Will you just focus on the football, get us the players we need? Come love nor money. We are lucky we didn't get relegated last season because there was 3 teams 10 times worse than us. And that is the only reason we didn't go down, because they was that shit. And one way or another, we have managed to do what probably no other club that I can think of, unless someone can tell me otherwise, has finished 17th and got in the bloody Champions League. Almost got our scapegoat out of it, basically. And what have we done? I mean, Brian, what have we done? I mean, we all know what we should have done. Why has nothing been done here?
because it's the same old thing with Levy. He just doesn't, he wants to focus on the bloody business side of things. And the annoying thing is, that's okay for Levy, but that's not okay for everyone on the fucking football side of things, like us fans. And I'm sorry I'm swearing so much, but I'm so hacked off, Dan, today. I'm just done with Levy. I want him gone now. There's the credit he had, right, from signing Kudos went straight out that window, and it's gone into minus. Probably he had 5% credit in the bank with me, and after yesterday, he's gone down to a minus 2,000 because I've seen some bad things. I thought the Willian situation was bad, Dan, right? When Chelsea took Willian off us. But that's nothing. And do you know why it hurts much more than any of the other times that we've been scapegoated like this and hijacked? It's because
the fact that it's Arsenal.
It's because it's Arsenal that have done it to us, and no one else in their right mind, right, would ever turn around and say that their rivals would ever hijack. Their closest rivals would ever hijack a deal and be happy about it. And that's, I think, what's got most of us Spurs fans, and can't talk for everybody, but I can talk for myself, but I'm only guessing that it must be the same for you, Dan, and the same for everyone else on this panel, and probably everyone in this chat. But that's what's really hacked me off, and that is why I'm done with Enoch altogether.
Mate, I've been saying they need to be gone for a long time on the football side, same as Levy. But again, I say I've defended him for stadium and stuff like that, and on the business side. But this one, I think, is the one that I think has crossed the line. It's crossed the line for me, and I think this one is the one that crossed the line for a lot of people. I mean, Savloy, to me, this one hurts. I don't know why, but this one almost hurts more than Sol Campbell for me. This one, I think, has pissed me off even more than the Sol Campbell one. Don't ask me why. There's just something about it where this one has just pissed me off even more than that one. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I know they're two very ones to compare as such, but what do you think with that?
I don't think it's as much as Sol Campbell for me, but
no,
it's just disappointed. It's disappointing that we can't even do Eze. He's not world class, but he's very, very good.
A very
and he
good
elevates
player.
us so much, and it's quite disappointing that we couldn't even get that over the line with no competition.
We can't even seem to get players off of Forest or Palace, for God's sake. And we're meant to be the 8th richest club in the world, 8th biggest club in the planet, or 7th, whatever it is. Top 6 Premier League team. Yes, we finished 17th. That won't do us no favours. But we are in the Champions League. We are supposedly have got money, and we can't even do Forest and fucking Palace. I mean, seriously. I mean, shouldn't we be able to do that sort of thing?
We should. We have the snapshot to be winning Premier Leagues. We have the resources to be winning Premier Leagues, back-to-back seasons. We're about as quick as Man City or Liverpool, really, are all just about. So, should be doing better.
It's absolutely shocking. Kaz, how you doing, mate? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, bro. I'm doing terrible, to be honest. I mean, it's been, I'm livid. I'm livid.
This whole system, sorry to stop you a sec. Go through this whole thing, everything you think from start to fucking finish, mate. Go through the whole lot, let it out.
Been a Spurs fan since I was 3 years old, right? This summer, winning the Europa League was one of the highlights of being a Spurs fan, despite the terrible season that we had under Ange. And you would think that any decent club would use this as the perfect opportunity to kick on. The perfect opportunity to kick on. We're in the Champions League. We've got a bit more money to play with. But these owners, this board cares nothing about the fans, cares nothing about the fans, and cares nothing about the football side of the business. They don't care about the football. And that's what's different. If you look at Marinakis at Forest, right, that's an owner who cares about the football. If you look at the guys over at PSG, those are owners who care about the football. They're there, they're watching the games, they're involved, right? They're in the changing rooms, they're involved in the football side of the business that they own. Levy has come out this summer and recorded 2 interviews, right? The overlap and the one on the Spurs channel, right? These PR stunts have literally been orchestrated to deceive the fans into believing that there's some sort of hope or light at the end of the tunnel from a system, from a board that plans on doing absolutely nothing to improving how competitive we are in the footballing space of things. And this has just sealed the deal for me. And I think that the fans need to unite. I think the fans need to hit them where it hurts. And where does it hurt? Not necessarily in terms of just trying to boycott spending and all of that, but they care about their image. If Levy didn't care about his image, he wouldn't have been doing those interviews, right? So we need to unite as fans in terms of making it known that this is unacceptable, right? Even if we do go on to get a Nico Paz, or we do go on to get, even if we get Savino, right? We still have to make it known that this is unacceptable, because we had a deal on the table that was literally in our hands, right? Eze, I hear, okay, fine, he's an Arsenal fan, but this deal was literally in our hands and he couldn't get it done. And I think it's disgraceful.
If he'd have just put that extra money down, what they wanted, the way they wanted it, it would have been done and dusted. I know he wanted to go Arsenal. I know that was his choice, but Arsenal wasn't on the choice really there. They hadn't put the bid in. We don't know. We might have put the bid down. Arsenal might have still gone for him. But I think the main reason Arsenal have said, you know what, we got to do this is because Havertz is out for 3 or 4 months. I think that's the thing that pushed them. If they wanted him that much, they'd have already come in and got him. I think Arsenal was sitting there a bit umming and ahhing about it. And then the thing with Havertz has happened. Bang. I think if we would have put the money on two weeks earlier, I mean, we've been on this one for nearly bloody 2 years, but been trying to do this deal for, let's say, 3 weeks. After the 3 weeks of the bloody Morgan Gibbs White one as well and that. And how comes it takes us that long? I mean, look how long it took with the Porro deal. The Porro deal took nearly a month to go through, basically, on the last day, if I remember right. Yet Arsenal can come in there and just go, there you go. And people tell me that money don't talk. Money talks. Okay, there's a bit more to put the money on the table. It was there. He had a buyout clause. I'm sure there was a bit more of a simple deal they could have come up with if Levy wouldn't have fucked about so much and got that job done. The buyout clause was there. I mean, go on, whoever's got something to say on it. The buyout clause was there. Why didn't we do it?
Can I just make one more point, right?
Go for it, mate. That's why you're
squad planning is absolutely diabolical, right? We're going into preseason knowing that our 2 number 10s, Kulusevski, I think at one point he had played the most games for us, right? He literally ran his socks off and his performances started to drop because he was just playing game after game after game after game. And, you know, it was almost like he was burnt out, right? Clearly, right? And Maddison has been very fragile since he signed, like a lot of our other players as well. Like Mickey
he's always been brittle, isn't he? He's always been
exactly.
brittle.
We've got Richarlison. I mean, we've got a squad with injury-prone players, right? And you would think that going into preseason, the priority would be to reinforce the squad from a position of, we know that there's a high chance that Maddison is going to get injured. We know that there's a high chance that Mickey van der Ven is not going to last the whole season. We know that there's a high chance that, we know that Kulusevski is going to be out for a while. We know these things, right? And I really thought that when we went in for Morgan Gibbs-White, right, we were going in for Morgan Gibbs-White with the notion that James Maddison even though he seems to be coming back to fitness slowly, right? We can't go into the Champions League relying on one number 10, right? Or one creative midfielder, or even two for that matter. So you would think we'd have Morgan Gibbs-White, would have James Maddison, and I know Kulusevski is versatile. He can play off the right, he can play in the middle, but we have three players who can cover a certain position. But if you're planning a squad, you would know that two out of those three aren't even a given. So at the very least, you should be looking to sign one player for that position, right? Now, James Maddison got injured and we didn't get Morgan Gibbs-White. So that's three players out for one position that we should have at least two solid players who can fill into that role at any given time, right? So you would think that the priority immediately Maddison got injured was to go out and get a number 10 who's proven at this level, not a kid, who's proven at this level, who can slot in and be good competition for that position and instantly make us a better team. I think it's disgraceful from a squad planning point of view that you even let it get to the stage that it's gotten to. Like, we were excited over potentially getting Eze when that should have been the bare minimum, seeing as James Maddison is injured. Like, Eze wouldn't have been an achievement. It should be the bare minimum considering the circumstances. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
No, fair play. Right, Ryan, Savloy, give you last things to say, as I'm going to try and get more people on here if they want to come on here. I mean, if people want me to do talk shows, I will do talk shows, but if no one's going to fucking come on here, then I won't bother doing talk shows. So I do appreciate the people that have already come on. But go on, Ryan, what have you last got to say, mate?
Yeah, look, right, I'm just wanting Levy and Enoch gone now because it's ridiculous. And to be honest, right, I want to leave this with you, Dan, and see if anyone would want to answer this when I'm off. If it was anyone else but Arsenal, would we be as annoyed as we are now? Is a good question. Would we still be as annoyed now? If it was
I'll answer that for you now. I'll answer that for you now. About 90% is pissed off. It's that extra 10% that has really burnt with Arsenal. But even if he'd have ended up going Man U, if he'd have ended up going wherever, I think people would still be fuming to the higher level in the aspect of the fact that it was right on our hands. Right there. The deal was there to be done. And Levy fucked about again and fucked the whole thing over just because he wanted to get it done his way, basically.
But
I mean, if you want to answer on that quickly before Ryan goes, and then I'll come to you, Savoy. And then Rob, it's all down to you.
Can I just add something quickly on that? For me, I would not blame Levy if, for example, he sent the paperwork and everything, and then Paris started taking the piss out of it and calling Arsenal and say, do you know what, guys? We have the paperwork, and they want, like, if you want him, pay this money. But a verbal agreement doesn't mean you're getting the player. That's just a verbal. It's when you make the paperwork and everything is signed and sealed, that's when you can say this is your player until he does his medical. But that doesn't mean anything. This is why I say do not follow the ITKs, and verbal agreements mean fuck all in football. It's all everyone, like, no offense. If you're a billionaire, like, you had to do some shady stuff in your life. So this is why trust should not be a part of football. Do not trust anyone. Do not trust Eze when he says he's giving his word to Tottenham. That means fuck all.
I agree with that. I mean, Savoy, you got anything last to say, mate?
Oh, I've got to say, in order to get Levy out, we need to start shining. We've got to start essentially calling their names all throughout the game. If you've got enough people calling your names, eventually you're going to listen to them or get the LOI out of them, away from as far as possible. So I think that's the only way. Okay,
then. Right, cheers for coming on, you two, and I'm going to try and get others on here as well. Much appreciated. Ryan, I'll catch up with you again. Sure, let me start again. I'm sure I will catch up with you again soon, so take care of yourself, mate. And Savloy, good to meet you, fella, and next time I do a chat-in, you'll be more than welcome on here. Take care, you two. I mean, so where are we actually going to go from here? Rob, good to see you, mate. I ain't seen you for ages. How are we doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, Dan. Not bad. Yourself?
Same Spurs, different day? No, actually, I think it's St. Spurs' fucking worst day, if I'm going to be honest. But come on, mate, your side of all of this. Go on, go from day.
It ain't been as bad as this in the transfer window as long as I've been alive. I wasn't alive for the Sol Campbell thing, thankfully, in all honesty. We had the Skriniar stuff a few years ago, the Dybala stuff under Poch, the Willian stuff, but this is the worst for me, to be so close to a player and then have him snatched away, not by anyone, but by them lot. It just makes it 10 times worse for me. It really does. And people have been saying that Gyökeres is the missing piece of the puzzle for Arsenal. I think this guy is, because teams were stopping them last season by putting 3 or 4 players on Saka because they weren't worried about that left-hand side. They weren't worried about Martinelli or Trossard. Now they've got 2 proper good wingers now that are going to be charging at people. So you can't just stop Arsenal's attacks by targeting that right-hand side. I think it's a great signing for them. For us, I just think it's pathetic. I really, really do. I'm not having any of this Palace work holding out for the bigger bid for Arsenal. We've had weeks and weeks to do this, and we're just not willing to pay those extra few million. We're always looking to get those extra few million. And Levy and Enoch, for as well as they run this football club as a business and financially, we never take any risks financially in the transfer market. And for me, that's the reason why you've got the top 4 clubs there and us down here. Because you need to take risks to get to that next level. And we don't. So the finances are all cushy because we don't. But at the same time, we're not competing with the Chelsea. We're not competing with the Arsenals. Shown yesterday, the Man Cities, the Liverpools. For me, I just think it's a great move for them. It's a shambles from us, really, that we've let them go to them and that we've stood around doing nothing in the last few weeks. You know, I think I first heard that we were properly in talks like over a week ago. Why have we not wrapped it up? By the time Havertz got injured, that they should have been having a conversation at Arsenal. Right, let's go in for Eze now. He's already signed for Tottenham. Or he's already having his medical. If he was having his medical at the training ground, meeting players, for me, I don't see him turning there and going to Arsenal. But he was an Arsenal boy. When he's got the 2 options before he's even come to Spurs, why would he choose?
He's going to go Arsenal.
You know, exactly. Yeah, we've won a Europa League, but we also finished 17th. You know. They're needing that extra player to get them over the line to win a title at the minute. We're nowhere near that. So, I mean, it's a shambles.
Robbie, I'll just add 1 point to what. Can I just add something quickly?
Go on, Dietrich.
Yeah, just 1 point. I don't believe finishing on the league table really matters. I think the most important thing is actually paying what the player's worth. That's just my opinion. That's not a fact. That's what I believe. If we came in and gave as let's say 300K a week, I promise you, we would have had him through the door, and if Levy, of course, didn't fuck up what he did, Eze would be a Spurs player. But if you want to match the Arsenals, the Cities, the Chelsea, you gotta pay the players what they're worth. And if you, for example, now apparently we're going to after Morgan Rogers, he just won PFA Young Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. Do you really think he's gonna accept going to Spurs if he doesn't make at least 6 figures a week?
If he don't make at least double and a half of his money.
Look how we offer him that Villa can't either.
Exactly.
Champions League football, we're not going to win it. You know, Emery's the master of that competition.
Exactly, and look, he's gonna look at it this way. I'm playing under Unai Emery. I have a better overall. They have a better squad than us. If we're talking about forward, especially, he's gonna look at it and say, "Why? It's not gonna be a big jump. So why am I gonna waste my time going there?"
I get where you're going. I mean, Kaz, you wanted to say something there, mate. Go for it.
I just want to say I completely get you. But what I will say is that you have to understand that the club, in order to do that, they would have to plan to change the wage structure, right? Currently, our wage structure is nothing compared to that of a Chelsea, of a Manchester United, you know, and these are the kind of conversations that should be had in the back room, right, with the board, to say, okay, in order for us to be more competitive, let's begin the process of changing our wage structure, right? Let's start offering our best performing players new contracts, right? And getting them bumped up in terms of what they're earning, right? So for example, this is just a hypothetical because I'm not sure off the top of my head what everyone earns, right? But let's say, okay, Christian Romero is now club captain and he's been given a new contract, right? Mm-hmm. It wouldn't make sense for Christian Romero to be on the same, you know, on a similar playing field, like money-wise, to let's say, a Kevin Danso or something, you know. Like,
if I
you have
remember
to-
right, Gray is on more than Van der Ven.
Exactly. So the wage structure, Dan, the wage structure from the get-go is a shambles, right? So you can't just say to Eze, you know, we're gonna offer you 300 grand a week, right? The wage structure from the get-go needs to be restructured. And I'm not saying that we do what Manchester United did, where you end up with, you know, players like Sancho who, you know, they took it to another extreme, right? We have to do it like in a reasonable way. But I do hear you that if you offer players more money, you can be more competitive in the market. And for us, unfortunately, we don't have the trophies to compete with certain teams, right? And we finished 17th last season, which is a joke, right? There's no player who plays in any of the top leagues who would want to go to a team that finished 17th if they know that they're not going to be competing for the Champions League. They're not going to be competing in Europe, right? The best players in the world, they want to compete and they want to get paid. So these are the conversations that need to be had in the boardroom. That one, we need to change our wage structure. Two, we just need to be more competitive, right? And in order to be more competitive, you're not going to be more competitive by signing Archie Gray. You're not going to be more competitive by slapping 40 million on Matisse Tell. You know, it's embarrassing. And it almost seems to me that the people that are making these decisions have no clue about football. 40 million pounds on Archie Gray. Come on.
Look, I don't even want to go into an Archie Gray one here. I've had this debate so many fucking times that I'm actually sick of it, yeah? But the only point I'll go with it quick, it's nothing personal with him. And I think the way you've just put it as well, it is the fact that we need the players of now. We need them now. And what is Archie Gray going to do for... Okay, he covered a couple of places last year. Well done. Not that for me, he's not good enough yet for the Premier League. Get him out on loan. What the hell are we doing going for someone like Odobert? I mean, altogether, that's what, 50, 60, 75 million, 40, 56, 65. And then also going with players like Tell. When we get him on loan for how long? What did he actually do?
How much did we spend on Tell? Do you know?
Basically,
10 million loan plus 35 million option to buy.
Yeah.
So give it 45.
The way it basically worked with Tell, the way I see it, is that technically we didn't actually pay any money for him up front. I think that's one of the reasons why we actually took Tell, because I think what basically happened was Bayern Munich said, look, we still owe you this, we'll give you that, and we'll call it quits. That's what I personally think happened, yeah? So, yeah, we've lost out on money as such, but it wasn't money we had to pay there and then for him, if you get where I'm coming from. I mean, Danso, I've got no problem with that buy. 20, 25 million. I think that was a good buy. I think he's quite a solid player we got there. I do think he's better than some people actually are thinking. No, not a quality player, whatever, but I do think he's a very good, stable player. If anything, I'd say he's more stable than a few players we got. But if we want to actually get somewhere and do something, Kaz, you're 100% right on what you said. I don't think anyone's suggesting that we've got to go out and like start spending 400 grand on a player's wages, this and that. We ain't that capability yet. But surely something has got to change in the aspects that we can attract the bigger players. Because for me, there's more mercenary in football than I think people realise. Again, it's an opinion, yeah? I think there's a lot of people out there who quite happily turn around. You offer them an extra 50 grand, they'll go walking that way, even if they supported that club, depending on the depth of it as such. And we just don't do it. And we're meant to be one of the richest clubs on the bloody planet. And I know that if you go and start giving someone this money, someone else is going to ask for that money, whatever else and that. I get how it all works. But going back on the Eze bit, last of all, it's the fact that the deal was basically there. It was done. We had offered the money. I know the verbal agreement, like Dietrich said, don't exactly count on that, but it was there for the taking, and we didn't do it, and we just did not do it. So now Eze is out the picture completely. I know we're going to have a rant about it for a bit longer. A few channels are this and that, but I don't think I'm going to go on about it for weeks on end. It's done. It's dusted. It's out the way now. I'm still going to moan for a couple of days and then leave it at that.
But
I mean, Rob, where do we go now? That is my question. Where do we go now?
I was about to ask the same question.
I really don't know. I mean, I think we'll get Dibbling over the line. That's a signing I see us making. For Daniel Martinelli, I think that's a signing we'll make. Maybe a Harvey Elliott, someone like that. Morgan Rogers, I don't see happening because the problem is now teams are going to know that we're desperate towards the end of this transfer window. They're going to know that we need a 10. They're going to know that we need a left winger. So, for example, Aston Villa with Morgan Rogers, like, okay, 80 million or you don't get. What about 65? No, 80 million or you don't get him. No negotiating here. You pay the money. And if we don't end up getting him, then we're left short. And if we do, we're overpaying. So we've left ourselves in a position now at the end of this window where teams are going to take the absolute mick out of us because they know how desperate we are for players in the 10 and on the left. For me, the type of player I'd like, I mean, it's so unrealistic. You're seeing the links with like Xavi Simons and Rodrigo. And it's like, if they are going to come to the Prem, why are they going to join us? Rodrigo, I see going to City if he joins a Prem club, and Simmons going to Chelsea, because these teams can offer them Champions League football, but also, you know, show that they finished in top 4 last season, show all the trophies they've won over the last few years, not one trophy, and then the last one being 17 years before. So it's a real tough question to answer now, Dan, because I think I genuinely don't know. Maybe we don't sign anyone. I think out of all the managers to have with a lack of options, an injury hit squad, and fans ranting about everything, rightly so, is someone like Thomas Frank. He can make the most out of what he's got. He can turn.
That's why we got him, Rob. I think that is why I think we got Frank, basically.
Yeah.
And I think a very good coach in that. And I think we got him because he can basically play with the cards he's got tenfold better than Ange could. Yeah. We've already seen he can change formations, mess about with things. And if he doesn't get any other players in there, basically, he's just going to have to play with the cards he's got. But sorry, mate, keep what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's already got more backing at Spurs than he has done at Brentford the last few years. But I just look at where we are now. I think where we go is maybe a 6th or 7th place finish this season. Frank overachieved with what he's got. Maybe make 1 or 2 signings towards the end of the window, but I don't think anything groundbreaking. I think we'll be linked with a few big players, but I don't see us getting them. And then next summer, I honestly don't know. I really don't know. I think if we got this deal over the line, maybe we then get the Savio deal over the line. Then maybe we head into this season. I know we're already a game and it'll be 2 this Saturday with confidence, with a solid team that can maybe even compete for Champions League football. Now I'm looking at it as if we get in the top 8, then Frank's done a fantastic job, even if he had someone like a Dibbling, because I don't see us making any statements on it. So where we go from here, I genuinely don't know. I can't answer the question straight. I'm giving you a politician's answer now, because following on from yesterday, I don't know where we finish. I don't know who we sign. It's so unpredictable.
I'll just add something quickly on what you said. Like, the biggest issue we have right now, which club in their right mind is going to sell their prize asset and there's 10 days left in the window? Do you really think Aston Villa is going to sell arguably their best player on the team to the rival Spurs? No, it's not going to happen. Same with
Davis just said it here as well. Like Chelsea wanted him, like, and he was right up there, and they couldn't get him. So, like, fuck, are we going to get him?
Chelsea want him too. Like, I'm telling you this right now, we're not going to get a marquee signing in 10 days. Even Savinho, City are probably want Rodrigo in exchange. Do you really think they're going to hassle the last 10 days for Rodrigo with Real Madrid? No, it's not going to happen. So I don't see us making a marquee signing, and we're probably going to get another Bergvall / Archie Gray type of signing, someone that's unproven and has done nothing to warrant a price tag. And that's going to be totally big.
You know what it is, D-Trex? I don't mind signing these young players. I didn't have a problem with signing Gray last time. I don't have a problem if we sign Dibbling, but it's got to come with quality that's going to improve our first team. And last summer, the whole reason I was annoyed was because we're signing these youngsters. They're nowhere near ready. If we sign youngsters now to the end of the season, they've got good potential. At the minute, I don't care about the future. Every manager seems to get sacked in their 2nd season at this football club. So I want players for the now that come straight into the first team and improve us. That's why I think Kudus, good bit of business. Paulinho, Really, really chuffed with that. Now we need that cam. Now we need that left winger. Does Dibbling come straight in and start every game? Not in
Once
my
again,
opinion.
No.
once again,
I
it
mean-
goes back. Sorry, just quickly. Once again, it
Okay,
goes
go on.
back to wages. If you don't break the wage structure, you're not gonna get those players, those prem-proven players. It's not gonna happen.
I mean,
I think. Can
I
I
mean,
just make a
Kaz, what
point?
do you reckon on all this? That's what I was going to say. I've been waiting to come to you, mate. What do you think on all this? Where do
Yeah,
we need
I
to go?
think-
What are we going to do?
Okay, I've realized something from this as a situation. I think that the big signings that we've gone for and we've failed at executing were simply smoke screens, right? And Eze was the final straw to realize that this is just an intentional plan to get the fans rejuvenated, to get the fans talking, to make it seem like something big is being done. But I believe that the club has a clear plan on how they do business and the type of player that they bring into this club, right? And I'll explain. In the past 5 seasons, we've seen players such as Veliz, right? We've seen Brian Hill, we've seen Mano Solomon, we've seen Jack Clark, right? We've seen Alfie Devine. We've seen players who are of the profile of between 18 years old and 22 years old, right? And what I think that the club is doing is the club is signing players that they know that they can get easily with the hopes that they might turn out to be something within the next 2-3 seasons. And if they do end up to be decent players within the next 2-3 seasons, then
Like a Dele Alli.
Exactly. That's the motto of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. It works. It works with Dele Alli, right? When you fluke it, it looks good. When you fluke it, it looks good. But think about how many players of the Dele Alli model have been signed for Tottenham Hotspur, and how many of them have basically failed in terms of being who people expect them to be, right? So there's a certain profile that the club goes for, and it's continuing. Matisse Tell, Wilson Odobert, right? I'd even put Brian Hill, who we can't get rid of now, right? So there's a pattern.
Can't even give him
right?
away.
Literally, like no one would want him even for free. Yang, look at Yang, right? Look at Yang. We've just signed this Japanese kid, Takai, right? You're playing roulette with young players that you can get your hands on and hoping that one of them can be a solid, like a few of them might be solid team members within the next few years. And if they are, they end up improving your squad and you can get a good return on them. And that's the motto, that's the profile, that's clearly what the board have decided in terms of this is our football strategy, this is our recruitment strategy. So I think for me, what this Eze situation has taught me is that we're never going to get an Eze, and that even shows that even us getting Kudus was a bit of a miracle, but it just works in our favor because West Ham needed money.
Jump on. Yeah,
right.
You know what you say with Kudus there, 100% right. They needed that money desperately, so Levy took advantage of it, which was a good move, by the way. Like you want your business, but like you want your chairman to do. He took advantage of the situation, and he basically said, "Right, I'll give you this much money because I know that's what you need." They said, "You know what? Fuck it, we need it," and got it done. In that aspect, good job done. But when it matters otherwise, sorry to interrupt you anyway, Kaz. Keep going. What you're saying?
Yeah. No, I'll just wrap up here. So the Dybalas we're never gonna get. Luis Diaz's we're never gonna get. The Ezes we're never gonna get. Morgan Rogers we're never gonna get. Rodrigo's we're never gonna get. The Savinho thing is gonna be dragged out, and we won't get him, right? Because these signings go again. They're smoke screens. They're smoke screens, and every single summer, Spurs fans are literally taken for a ride. And we get behind the team. We get behind the excitement of what next season could possibly be like. Don't forget. I'll make this last point. Right? We've just won the Europa League, right? And they have chosen not to kick on. We believed after getting to the Champions League final, we knew that we were 1 or 2 players away from properly competing from the Premier League, right? When we had Toby Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Danny Rose, Kyle Walker, like that team was 2 players away from really competing for the league. And Daniel Levy didn't back the manager. And so that should tell you everything that you need to know. And I've learned my lesson. We're not getting any high-profile player. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I can't see it happening. And yeah, our left-wing options are going to be Odebear, Tell, Brennan Johnson, and Frank is just going to have to do the best with what we've got.
I'll just add a point to what you said there. I 100% agree with everything you said, first of all. My issue with the Kudas, the Madisons of the world, the only time we get those names at Spurs, it's always an opportunity that presented itself. Same way that West Ham is on PSR issues and Leicester got relegated. Are we seriously a top 6 club? The only reason we get those players is when other clubs just like F themselves.
That's a good point.
Why can we not just go see Man City and be like, you see this guy, he barely plays, we want him? Can we just for once just act like a big club and get the players on big teams? But unfortunately, we don't do it.
What you said there, that is what we should be protesting. We should be protesting the model that this club is built on in terms of transfers, in terms of just the football side of things, right? And we shouldn't get carried away by Kudus being a fantastic performer at the beginning of the season. We shouldn't get carried, even if we did sign Eze, right? We shouldn't get carried away by the success. If Frank goes on a winning streak, right? We shouldn't get carried away by these things because we've seen the pattern time and time and time again, and it's just going to continue. The model is set up for failure. It's set up for failure, and it works in their best interest because they don't have to. They can keep costs as low as possible while making a premium off of the new stadium that they've built, off of merchandising, off of all of these things, right? But at the end of the day, the football side of things would be stagnant because of the model. And as fans, we need to unite and say that this isn't good enough. Like, we're not going to accept mediocre at Tottenham Hotspur. Like, enough is enough.
But this is where I said I didn't want Thomas Frank from the beginning because he's never been in that situation. We're going to set him up for failure. He's going to a season with no number 10 and no actually quality left wingers or even strikers or even a box-to-box, proper box-to-box midfielder.
We didn't want a manager that was used to being backed with top quality players, because if they didn't get them, which was going to be an Everton and Spurs, then going to cause problems again. And it was Conte, Jose all over again.
And this is where I said just keep Ange Postecoglou and let him crash the ship. That was the best thing that ever happened to us. Is when he was there was a big ass protest and people were against the ownership. That's why I said keep him. And now Thomas Frank, I promise you this, and if we're lucky in 18 months, we're going to circle back to the discussion and say what went wrong with him. Even though it wasn't his fault, I think he's a quality manager. It's just at Spurs, especially with this summer, he's going to regret it, taking the Spurs job.
Do you know what? I wanted Ange out purely for the way that went, basically. I just couldn't handle the 17th place. Frank will do better than Ange in that aspect. But in the other aspect, you know what? I think Dietrich does actually have a point. Eugene, how we doing, fella?
Hey, big up, boys. I'm broken, mate. There's been a lot of dark days over the past.
Do you know what? You actually look it from when I usually see you, you at least have a bit of energy about you, sort of thing. At the moment, you actually look like the rest of us, like you've literally been shafted.
I've been, and that's the second day. I've been on 4 or 5 streams, hoping to get out of my system. And honestly, I woke up this morning and I still feel broken. It's not even, it's like different stages of grief. Yesterday I was angry. Now I'm just broken. This is, and to what Dietrich was saying, when we hired Frank, I went on multiple streams and I said he's a good coach. I rate him as a coach, but what I'm concerned about is what that hiring signals to everybody. And what it signaled to me is that the club wants him to come in and coach the youngsters, and we're not going to give him top players. And when we're linked to Gibbs White, to Eze, to Savinho, I'm like, oh, maybe things are different. But that's what it looks like to me. So it's just, man, like I'm honestly, I have so much anger inside. I can't even put it into words. Like I was so excited for this season, for the next game, and now just the whole excitement is gone. And it's not even about Eze per se, is Gibbs White. It's just, all the deals over the years. But Eze is that perfect 10 that we needed. He's homegrown. He's, in his prime. He's a perfect player. And now if you look at our squad, we have nothing, right? Kudus, and that's it. So it's devastating. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I must admit it. I mean, I think the thing we definitely do as Spurs supporters, I think a lot of Spurs supporters do lose the plot way too quickly and hype up players way too quickly. All of a sudden, Richarlison is the next fucking R9. I mean, technically he is if you want to go by his name, but he's definitely not. And don't get me wrong, 2 excellent games out of him, 2 world-class goals. I think he already scored a goal that's going to be up there for goal of the season. Yeah, okay, fair play. Let's see if he can stay out of a wheelchair for more than 10 weeks. And with that aspect, we know, like got said earlier, we have injury bloody prone players, and he ain't going to stay fit. He's never been consistent for Spurs. Okay, if he ends up being consistent, great. But I just don't see it at the moment. People now talking about Papa Sarr, like, don't worry about a number 10. We've got Papa Sarr. Yeah, he had a couple of good friendlies and he's had a good game. Again, another player who has been very inconsistent and not great for us, in my opinion. Yeah, all right. Some of it comes down to the fact of, can you say that anybody is fairly judged under what Ange was? But seriously, we've got to do something now. We are up shit street in a big way. Ben, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. I have breaking news. Sorry. Kulusevski is out until the beginning of 2026.
I mean, and
so
wonderful.
So add another 4 months.
I would sell him anyways. I don't care about. I mean, whatever. He's not what we need, but yeah.
Can I ask the panel a quick question, boys? I'm really interested to know what you think. Do you feel being embarrassed in the transfer market, not once, but twice, quite literally mugged off? Do you feel like Tottenham Hotspurs are losing credibility now? Do you think other players look at that situation and think, do I really want to be a part of that? Please, by all means, someone pipe up and let me know, because I'm interested.
Did we ever have it? I think that's my answer to that.
Not in the transfer market. I don't think we have in the transfer market for years. Really.
We've lost all credibility. That's if we even had it in the first place. I think there's a temptation for a player who might play for a mid-table team or a team that's a bit lower than mid-table, who might be the best player in their team, to see Tottenham as a stepping stone, for lack of a better term, in terms of, just elevating their career. But even now, we've now gone into the same bracket as Newcastle, Aston Villa, like even Forest, right? So we've come down a notch. So those players, right? Like look at Wissa, for example, right? I was hearing reports that Wissa, turned down Tottenham, and he only wants to go to Newcastle, and that's our level now. And that lower league player, or that player who's like a mid-table player, would only see Tottenham as an opportunity if there's nowhere else to go.
Basically a stepping stone sort of thing.
Exactly. And the only team that does business with us or that likes us is Byron, because we gave him our best player and we take all their crap and we take Tell. That's it. That's our special.
Anyways, gents, I've got to get going now, but it was good. It was good talking
Kaz,
to you. Yeah,
brilliant to have you on, mate. You're more than welcome anytime. Take care of yourself.
Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye.
I mean, Brian, I'll come to you in a second, mate. I mean, your noise in the background is pretty loud.
Can you hear me now? Is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, I'm just in the car.
Yep, I think I noticed that one. So go on, mate. Say what you got to say. Go.
I've been so gutted since yesterday. Listen, I've been a full Spurs fan for a while now, and I must tell you, this is not new to me. All right, I've seen this film play out over and over again, and it feels like Spurs fans don't want to learn from this. They don't want to learn. This has happened several times. It has happened with Mane. Mane's not getting Mane was what made me realize that Daniel Levy is just not the man to move this club forward. That deal, for that deal to fall through, was the opening eye for me. All right, I realized that this man is not going to take this club anywhere, and for me, Eze not coming to Tottenham it's not a good look. But to be honest, it is for Tottenham fans to decide how we want to take this club forward. What do we want to do going forward? Do we want to continue with this mess? It's a mess. It's an embarrassment. It's a big embarrassment. The PR mechanism to move this club forward, you would have to pay in premium to get this club looking like a big club, because right now we're not looking like a big club whatsoever. And it's so painful time and time again. Last night I couldn't sleep. I'm on my break now at work, but it's just frustrating.
There's a big issue on the sound.
Yeah, I know. I can hear. He's in his car, so I'm just letting him go with it. Basically, I mean, it is correctly as well. We can understand what you're saying. No, you're in your car. That's why we can understand you. Just so.
It's frustrating because at the end of the day, we as fans want to see our club do better. I was so excited winning the Europa League. As a matter of fact, when I was in Nigeria, I would tell you in the community I was the only Spurs fan. Now I'm in Toronto, and in all honesty, I still see myself being, apart from the big man that I know there who have followed for a while, who is in Toronto as well as a Spurs fan. But in this community where I live, I'm like the only Spurs fan in the Nigerian community and in the Black community here. So to see that this continues to happen to us, it is so pathetic. I'm lost for words to say, but I tell you what, if we ever think that this man is going to take out money to buy big players for this club to move forward, then we're all missing it, because this man does not like to spend money. He haggles all the time. He needs to get us forward. He does this all the time. So it's not new to me. But the question, just finally, before I wrap up, the question I want to ask the Spurs fans is, what do we want to do going forward? We cannot continue like this. We cannot.
I think you're frozen there a bit, mate. Yep, I think he's frozen there. Right, so I'll leave him there to see if Cloyce can come back on. Ed X, thanks a lot, mate. Much appreciated. No player agent in their right mind would let their clients sign with Tottenham if they have other viable options. Levy is poison. Yeah, mate. What do you want me to say on it? You're right. You're 100% right. And thanks a lot, mate. It is much appreciated. Cloyce, if you can get yourself back on there, do feel free, mate. I know that the mic in the background wasn't good. So what I'm going to do, take you out of the studio, try and sign back in, and I'll get you back on there. I know it was cranky, but it's obvious where you are. Right, this is where I'm going to take the jump back. I'm going to get a fag, and I'm going to sit back. Brian.
Mate, listen, I only came on to say hello to all you guys. Listen, I've been very vocal since yesterday. I don't know what to say. I came home yesterday. I had to go see a friend who's not been well at all. Came back and it all broken loose. Went on We Are Tottenham TV. Then did something on Tottenham on Tour. Then been on Tottenham on Tour again this morning. Then just released something on Tottenham on Tour. I'll drop the link at the end of the show so your viewers can watch it, Dan. And now I came here. Listen, I came to just also support you guys and listen to what the other people are saying, because my views on this are very, very well known. My views on this never, ever change. Unfortunately, I mean, the only good thing about this is it's woken a lot of people up. It's woken a lot of people up, the feeling that this is happening again. And not only is Eze now not playing for Crystal Palace tonight, it's just been confirmed by Spurs Express and loads of people that Kulusevski is out until 2026. Confirmed.
I just heard that.
It's great that we got this, Joe. I'm so lucky we are blessed with players in his position, and we don't need to buy people. I'm so blessed that we have so much time in the window. I'm blessed. We're blessed that we have so many transfers in the fire that are at the advanced stage that are going to come through. We have allowed Enoch and Levy to rip the soul out of this football club. To dare is to do has become to dare is to make money.
Yeah.
We are just the only language they understand, and it's getting to this point now. I've been on my boycott for ages. The only language they understand is ka-ching, ka-ching, or the noise the chip when you're paying on your card. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. If you're an international fan, do not buy stuff from that club shop. Do not buy stuff from online. If you feel this way, if you want change, there are loads of other places where you can get copies or other sports shops where you can go to. If you're in that blooming stadium, don't spend money in there. Don't spend money in there. If people want to boycott, they boycott. I'm coming back in September for 5 weeks for medical reasons. I will be at that training ground. If anyone wants to come to the training ground, done it before, I'll do it again. It's enough. Nothing will change until we affect their wallet and their bank balance. Nothing. That's all there is to say, really, isn't it? We how many times? I mean, Dan, I've known you what now? 3 years?
2 years.
2 years, 3 years. This subject doesn't go away. The excuses just change. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been protesting for 17. People have been doing it for longer than me. The excuses change. The reason doesn't.
But Brian, what's going to happen is, as you will know, fans are so fickle. If we win somehow against City, half of these fans who are upset now, they're going to be back on the bandwagon saying everything is great, everything is amazing.
I don't think they all this time, Eugene, bro. I think, look, well, the way I look at it, and I've said this before, everyone has their camel, the straw that broke the camel's back moment. Everyone knows mine is Martin Yol. There's been so many people and so many moments in between, but this one, and it's not just Eze. People are thinking that there's people that are actually thinking the stuff that I'm saying at the moment is all based because we didn't get Eze. It's not. It is the monumental. Look, like I was saying, the type. I'll show you how easy this is, Eugene, and this is why I think people are getting it. Like I said, I'm Martin Yol. There's people that are Poch. That was it. There was the Super League. There was Saki Mourinho. There were there's hundreds of different ones you could do. Just that was like the 18 years. I'm going to give you just since we won the Europa League. And we won the Europa League literally 3 months ago. The very next game in Daniel Levy's statement, we've tasted success. We're going to use this as a springboard for success. Okay, there's one thing. And his end of season address. There is then the advert or the PR bullshit with Vinay. We want the Champions League. We want to win. Sorry, we want to win the Premier League. Sorry, we want to win the Champions League. We need to win the Premier League. 2. We've had the Eze debacle. 4. We have had the Morgan Gibbs White debacle. 5. There's 5 things just since May. Just since May, there is 5 things. And then if you want to bring in this 3-month transfer window, big up, hey, Mom, I haven't seen you for ages, buddy. I big up to you, buddy. We need to connect. I will be at the training ground next month. 12-week, I'm going to say this, then I'll let other people talk. There is a 12-week window. I've said this everywhere at the moment, but I'll say it here. 2 weeks we wasted sacking Ange. 2 weeks we hired appointing Frank. 3 weeks we've wasted appoint it with the Morgan Gibbs White, because you can't buy another player if you are buying one player. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to. We've wasted a week and a half on Eze. That's 8.5. Then you add, it's the same time. So we're 8.5 weeks of a 12-week window. We've wasted hiring a manager, firing our manager, trying to get players in, one player in at a time, and now we're going for we won't pay the 60 million for Eze, but we will pay the 70 million for Savio. Then we're going. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. You got to strip it down to bare bones, and you have been lied to. Or sorry, we have been lied to. Over and over again. This is a guy, I hate Marmite, that was with me at the training ground in January 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guy that attended the year before, the guy that stood with me opposite the club shop with 50 people on a good day. The lies to managers, the lies to directors, football, most importantly, the lies to the fans. It's got to stop. And I'll let people talk now.
Brian, don't forget Koi's Daniel.
Oh yeah, Koi, no. Did you see? I put a tweet out where I just said "fuck off, Daniel Levy, Koi's Brian."
I mean,
Tyler
this whole
Dibbling is going to come in.
I guess I have to
yeah,
go.
It's going to be Harvey Elliott and Tyler Dibbling.
take care of yourself. Hang on a
care,
sec.
everyone.
Take care of yourself, D.
Pick up,
Take
everyone.
it easy, mate.
Take
Good
care.
to see you
Bye.
again. Go on, Eugene. What you're saying, mate?
No, I'm just saying that's what, we're going to panic. We're not going to want to spend 80 million on Savio because everybody knows we're desperate, and Pep still is mad at us for Kane. So we're going to bring in probably Elliott, Dibbling, and another manager is going to be set up to fail. That's just the way it is at this club. And we're going to go again. And like all these bids, like last year when we put up the 70 million for Guehi, very last day, we knew it's not going to get accepted. Now we're bidding for Zabarny, 70 million, Hincapi. Like, what's the plan? We're like, why spend 35 million on Tel and then go in for Savinho, who is 21? Like, what's the point of all that? Like, what's our plan? It seems like, as always, we're reactive. We don't have a plan, and we just go with the flow. Wherever there's an opportunity, we try to take it. And all this talk about ambition and, we're putting money down, so we're ambitious. No, ambition includes execution. If you're ambitious, you execute. Like Liverpool, like City, like United, like Arsenal. They want a player, they go and get a player. We are the only ones who are exploring and, looking into and advanced conversations for 2 weeks. Nobody else, whatever happens to us with Gibbs White, with Eze, it doesn't happen to other clubs. In Newcastle's case, the players are saying no, which I guess is embarrassing a bit, but at least they're trying. At least for them, they want to make something happen. With us, the players are saying yes at first, and we just cannot complete the deal. So the execution part is missing. So you cannot say we're ambitious without us doing whatever it takes to be able to close the deal and execute. That's a part of the ambition. And that's what gets to me. A lot of people are buying what Levy was saying about winning the leagues in Champions League. It's all nonsense. It's all just PR talk. So it's, like I said, like a lot of the fans, and like I've been on other channel streams, and a lot of fans in the chat are like, no, it's not Levy's fault. It's not our fault as the one at Arsenal. They're very fickle. The memory of fans is very short. Again, if we get a result against City and we win next 2-3 games, a lot of the fans are gonna forget about what happened, and they're gonna, be on the train once again until the next season, and then it's gonna start all over again. So I honestly don't know how things are gonna change.
Right.
I have no idea. I don't see it, unfortunately.
No, I don't see it either. But again, come on, people. There's 217 on here. I'm sure there's someone fresh who wants to come on and say their piece. If people don't like calling shows, then what's the point on doing it? So come on, I'm sure there's a few out there that have got something to say. I've just had a good friend of mine send me something that I think just about will nail this on the head.
I've known money go for a number of years. Hopefully some of that money will rub off on Tottenham. All I would say to you is until we make money, well, that's the only thing that fans ought to believe in. Do you know, I get lots of money. I'm the type of individual that I like money. I would be protecting my money. We'll do whatever is right for the money. That's one area that if you don't get money, it can have dire consequences. Good financial position in that sense. And our duty is to protect the money. All I would say is we will make money, 1.4, 1.5 billion. We just care about every single penny that goes into this club. My view is that we've got.
Then that's just, it's triggering.
Are you trying to poke the fucking bear, Daniel? Is that what you're doing here, mate?
I just had my mate. I ain't instigate shit. I just had my mate Dave who comes on here and just said he sent me that in the background. And I thought, you know
Too
what?
soon. Too soon.
That just hits the nail on the head. Brian, stop sweating.
Mate, no, do you know what it is?
Laugh.
That one was. I mean, the funny thing is, that one was from the interview we did about 3-4 years ago, or about 3 years ago. I'm just waiting for the remix of the one with Vinay. And most importantly, I'm really looking forward to, because I know he won't, because he's got no balls whatsoever, Daniel Levy calling another fan forum. Let's see him ask. Let's see once again that the fans that want to ask the questions and ask him the difficult ones, not get involved, not get invited. And if there is another one, people should be outside protesting outside there. Everything is off limit. There's nothing off limits now.
Do you think that this then? I mean, the issue I had with the protest, I wouldn't say it was an issue, but it was the question was when I was there with you, Brian, Stell, met you all for the first time, brilliant, and that, and we had a good day, and it was a solid protest as well. The question I had with the protest the whole time, and I've said it a few times, is how many was actually there for ENIC out? Because I'm just now thinking that it ain't just Levy we need out of it, it's ENIC we need out. We need the whole fucking lot gone, yeah? Because if Levy goes, I'm still a firm believer Levy's the one who controls 90% of the stuff and everything, but at the end of the day, there is still one person above him, and that is Lewis. The whole lot has got to go. Now, my question is like, how many was actually there for Levy, ENIC out, change at the club, whatever else? But how many was actually there because of the situation we was in and they wanted Ange out because we were so screwed up, basically? And that is the question I kept asking and keep asking about it. Again, if there's another protest, which I'm sure there's going to be, if nothing serious happens within the next 10 days, whatever, and that, or let's just say by the end of the window, there's a good chance there you're going to see the biggest protest you've ever seen. But the question I ask, is it for the right reasons? And what I mean by the right reasons, I mean, wanting them out, end of, but I feel this is where people need to be there for the reason that they want ENIC out, Levy out. Not just there because they've got the because we didn't sign Eze, not just there because we didn't get, let's say, a world-class manager, whatever, even though I think Frankie's a quality manager and I'm happy we got him. Not just the fact that Morgan Gibbs-White didn't go through, but there for the fact because they want ENIC out. Does this make any sense to anyone, or am I just seeing this my way?
No, you're right. And I know I talk too much, but it's not
Say
about
you wish, mate. It's why you're here.
It's not about Levy, just Levy. It's ENIC, right? All this rubbish we're being told about Sherrington coming in and Vinay coming in and Collins stepping down, how things are going to be different because now, the adults are in charge and Levy's going to step back. But it just doesn't matter, as we can all see, right? All those moves, again, whether it's Levy, whether it's ENIC, but I don't think it's one person, right? The cancer is bigger than just that. Honestly, if Levy steps down tomorrow, I'm not sure if things are going to change if ENIC is in charge. Because it just doesn't, to me, with Sherrington, with Colin, whatever changes are being made, Same thing is still happening. So I feel like there's a bigger issue than maybe one person. I could be naive, but it's just the structure that's in place. They're not interested in football, right? And again, maybe it's Levy who's driving it, maybe it's Lewis, maybe it's the board, but football obviously is not the main concern, right? It's everything else. So it's just all the rubbish that we heard about, all the changes in the board, the Charrington is going to come in, the investment from Saudi or from whatever, the naming rights, all that stuff that we were being told, nothing is changing. Whether either that was all rubbish or the money is there, the changes to the board are in place, but nothing is changing. It's one or the other. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's confusing.
No, you're making sense. I mean, go on, I'll come straight to you, Scott. How you doing, fella?
He came, bloody hell. What's up, Scott, buddy? It's just marvelous.
I'll steal one of your lines, Dan. Same, different day, same Spurs, right? It's just, I know I haven't heard everything. I'm sure we're all talking about how angry and frustrated we are. I wish I could say I was overly surprised, but this club just finds new ways to make sure that they mess up things that should be done. They just find new ways to make sure to let us down and disappoint us, even things that should be straightforward. What we expect a football club to do, our club can't do it. So thanks for having me, and I'm excited
That's fine, mate.
Everybody's saying.
Like I said, I've been inviting people on all the time, and that ended up with usual people on here, which is never a problem. But come on, people, if you want me to do a call-in show and you want people to do call-in shows, then actually fucking come on the show. Yeah,
Cool. Amazing, Dan. Everybody says they're going to come on and they can cook you and they're going to
no, Scott,
tell you how dumb he is, and Robbie's going to be.
Look, I'll stick up for a majority of the chat. I don't get that shit most of the time. Yeah, you always get the odd one, but I don't get that shit. So this is why I am willing to do call-in shows, because I understand why other people aren't willing to do them anymore, and I can't fucking blame them, yeah? Mm-hmm. And so come in and say your bit. I'm putting the link on here for people, and I get it. Some people actually coming on the show might feel different than that. I ain't going to treat you any different to the way I treat anybody else on there or talk to you on here. Come on and say your piece. If people want me to do call-in shows, I will. If they don't, then what's the fucking point when I have to rely on the usuals to come on here? So come on, people, get your finger out and get a few people on here, and respect to the people that already did.
Danny, do you know what it is, mate? Do you know what it is? Listen, everyone knows I'm fairly new to this still, and I'm still finding my feet as is. I think the reason why people don't tend to jump straight on is because it is fucking nerve-wracking. Like, you can have a million things to say, you get up here and it's gone. You just go blank. But the thing is, people, like, if you do have something to say, Danny's good as gold. I mean, all these boys are. If you start to flake out or you start to go blank, these boys will pick up the slack. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, don't be nervous. Just jump on. You know, like I say, it can be a little bit daunting, but just jump on. Like, again, these people will look after you if you start to flake. So relax. But listen, Dan, I'm really sorry. I know you told me to jump on. Mm-hmm. I was running a bit of a risk because my daughter is here and she's running around screaming. So I've not been able to say a single word since I've come on. I'm going to bounce because
go for it, mate.
I've had like 5 seconds peace from her.
I know what daughters are like, mate. I've had one. Just thank God she's coming on 20.
So I am sorry. I've come on. I ain't said a fucking word. I do apologise.
That's all right, mate. I'm sure we'll catch up again soon.
Next time.
Take care of yourself,
boys,
fella.
take care of yourself.
See you later on, Ben, bro.
You know what, Scott? With what you're saying there, mate, you're so right, yeah. And someone else said it yesterday. And do you know what? What I can relate Tottenham to is a TV program that I absolutely love and adore, and especially when I've had my bit of medication, had a smoke and chilled out and whatever, and watch it. I think it's the best program on the planet to watch. South Park. This club is like South Park. It rips the fuck out of you, the shit out of you, out of anything and everything, to the point where you just think it ain't going no lower than that. It can't. They can't dig any deeper than that. And one way or another, if you're a South Park fan, you will know that they always manage to take it that step further to rip it out of you. And that is exactly what this club does. We might as well call ourselves South Park Hotspurs, as far as I'm concerned, because that is literally what this club does to us. I mean, do any of you watch South Park?
Watch
it's a great show, mate. It's a great show. I mean, I'd compare it to The Office because sometimes I think it's like a mockumentary. I'm watching like stuff leaving twice now. So I'm watching like Levy come out the Queen's Daniel stuff. And I'm just thinking it's so Brent, a lot of the things that he says. So I'd compare it to The Office, but South Park is quality, mate. It just feels like a comedy show sometimes, or some sort of sketch show.
Yeah, and Mike, how are we doing, fella?
Mate, I will be quick. Fuck this club. Fuck Ange. Fuck Levy. Fuck everything. I am so fucking done with this season that it barely started. I am just like all the excitement I had for this season, like that. That's
It
it.
is a simple. It is
That's
simple
it.
as
Like,
that.
Sums it up. Same. No, like I was so excited for the City game for this whole season for what, like first time in a while. I'm like, wow, like we're gonna be exciting to watch. And now, I don't even care at this point who comes in because it's bigger than just a single signing. I'm just my whole enthusiasm for the season. Yep, the Michael's spot on. Feel the same way.
you know what, Eugene, right?
I'll come to you in a second, Pop.
Yeah, I've said it yesterday, right? Like, I would be vexed that this happened, but if it happened in July, right, June or July, I would like, yeah, okay, like whatever. I'm vexed that Arsenal took a player from us, right? Basically from us, right? But we would have a lot of time to fix that mistake, right? Whether I believe this club does it or not, that's a different thing, right? But at least we would have like some time to prepare, right? I think that the worst part about it is that it's 21st of August, right? We have 10 days or like 11 days to fix this shit, right? And I honestly have no clue which club sells us one of their best players, right? Because that's the only thing that will fix this whole mess, right? Is if we buy a player of similar quality to Eze, right? And we won't, because either the club won't sell, B, they will rip us to shreds, right? When it comes to negotiations. C, the player won't want to come because it's Spurs, right? Like, why would they? And D, I don't know. Like, D is what we will have up our ass, right? After the transfer window. So, like, this is the thing that pisses me off the most, because I know that us not getting Eze means we are getting Tyler Dibling, most likely.
Exactly. I was about to say, that's what's going to happen. Tyler Dibling, welcome.
Dibling is coming, right? Like...
Right, Felly, you've jumped on here. Go on, mate. You got something to say? Go for it. Love the hat, by the way. Yeah, can you hear me? I think he's frozen.
Oh, he's moving.
How you doing, lads? All right.
That's better. I can hear you now. Go on. I'll take you.
I'm on mute.
Yeah. No, I can hear you. Go on.
Mr.
Say
Daigle,
it how you see it, mate.
I'm the chap. I asked you about. Oh, I've been calling this chairman out for 10 years, mate. I've been calling this chairman out for 10 years. This guy is an absolute parasite on this club. I'm telling you now. He's ruined this club, ruined them.
So where do you think we can go? Where have we got to go? What's got to be done? I think you're as stuck as the rest of us, aren't you?
Surely his position now is untenable, isn't it?
You'd think so.
You would hope so, definitely, mate. I mean, seriously. What have we got to do then? What have we got to do to get this started then? What's your opinion on it? Mate, I think you keep freezing on here all the time.
Yeah, mate, his internet is lagging a lot.
Yeah, your
I
internet
think that's
is lagging
how the
big time.
negotiations between Levy and Parrish went. Something was...
Yeah.
Lagging.
Yeah, I'm getting a double echo here somewhere.
Yeah. Try and jump back on, mate, because you're lagging really badly. Right, so go on, Mike, carry on with what you were saying.
Yeah, and like I don't know. Like I don't know what to say anymore. Right? It's honestly like I am going from I don't give a fuck, right, about whatever happens, right? Because like I'm done after the last season, right? I thought that this will be better, entertained, right? But I was like, I'm not going to let this club ruin my mood, right? I have shit going on in my life, right? Not bad shit, like some good things happening in my life, right? I'm not going to let the club ruin that, right? But then like, I was walking back from my job to my house, right? And suddenly it just fucking hit me. I got so fucking angry with this club, right? Like, I don't know, it just hits me in waves, right? I'm just like, listen, for me, right? When I watch sports, right? I watch any team. For me, you watch sports to be part of a community and to feel the joy and even the bad things that happen around the club, right? But you take it in as part of the community, right? And to live through it together, right? And you have the happy moments and the sad moments, right? And you win, you lose. Like you get engaged into that supporting part, right? But for me, like Spurs for quite a bit of time now, except for a few moments, it's like an abusive relationship at this point, right? Like I feel like that there is no happy part. There is just the sad part, right? You just get punched in the balls and you don't have sex, right? That's basically the relationship we are in right now. That's how I look at it, right? Like
along with a ceramic frying pan as well, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry, that's the easiest anecdote I can make, right? Like you have all the bad parts of marriage and no good parts of marriage, right? That's how I look at like supporting Spurs right now. It's honestly draining, like, you know, because I don't know. I keep saying this, right? That we are a giant that doesn't want to, a sleep giant that doesn't want to wake up, or something like along those lines. I said it.
You're right. Yeah, go back.
Yeah, that I think that we have the potential to be one of the best clubs in the world. Like, if only we wanted to be, right? If only the chairman and the director of football and the players and the coach and everyone, they all sang from the same hymn sheet, right? And just went for the target, right? I think we have the financial backing, we have the fan base, we have the stadium, we have everything to be a great club, and we just choose not to, right? This is the most infuriating thing for me, right? Because if we are supporting Norwich, right, my expectations wouldn't be to win the Premier League or to win any cups, right? Or like my expectation would be to just enjoy football, right? But we are supporting Spurs, right? It's hard to admit that for anyone else other than our fans, right? But we are one of the biggest, at least financially, clubs in the world, right? And we just never behave like it, right? Like this whole as a absolute bumfuckery that happened, right? It should have been wrapped up 3 weeks ago, in my opinion. Like, after Maddison got injured, it should have taken us like 3 days to wrap as up, right? If we were a proper club behaving like a proper institution, right? I just don't understand how you can hire people like Lange and other dickheads, right? And they don't do their job and they still keep the job after that, right? Like, sorry, but heads need to be chopped after what happened yesterday. That's the way I look at it. Like, because I have no other explanations. Like, how do we end up in this situation, right? Like, you know, Eze is scoring a winner in a North London derby, right? You know we are going to get bantered for that for the next 5 years, at least, right? Just another reason to be bantered by everyone else, right? It's just disheartening. It's just sad, honestly. Like, rant over. Sorry, boys.
Can I just say, I've been sent something. Johan Lange has gone back home to Denmark for 2 weeks. For this week and next week. Isn't that the best time to have your director of football away on a family vacation? The 2 weeks leading up to the transfer window. We have a chairman that flies to the Bahamas in January. We have, I don't even know what to. We have a director of football that takes holiday during the transfer window. That if nothing sums this football club up more, It's the final 10 days of the transfer window, and our director of football's on holiday.
Bring back Steve Hitchin.
I mean, why? Why?
But
we have a naming right guy that can get all the best American deals, as me and Scott will know. Todd Klein, who brokered many of the naming right deals all over America to bring in money for football franchises or basketball or any of the. We bring him in. He's here for 3 years with no naming rights and pisses off to Chelsea. And now we have a director of football whose job it is to bring in players and get them out, which he can't do anyway. But he's so useless, we've said go on holiday.
It's crazy. I mean, the other fellow, I keep trying to get him on at the back, who was just on, and for some reason, I think he's just lagging really bad on there. Gianni, how you doing, mate?
Good. How about yourself? Big up to everybody on the panel.
Big up, Johnny.
I just want. It's same Spurs, different day, but it's also same Premier League stuff, different day. Full disclosure, I'm a Napoli fan. I'm not a Spurs fan. But as somebody who has seen my club go from bankruptcy 21 years ago and in the 4th division to now possibly on the precipice of changing the history of Serie A, there's a few things that you guys have done that I think is not often talked about and needs to be talked about. First of all, your hiring of Fabio Paratici was a fucking joke. And excuse my French, but Paratici is the reason why Juventus is $1 billion in the hole right now. You got a guy who was cooking the books illegally in Juventus to come over to be your sporting director, who had no idea what he was doing in the first place, because he's the reason that club has been run into the ground. That's number one. Number two, I think your guys' selection of coaching has also been the problem. I've never understood why people, if you want to play a specific brand of football, you go away from it. Pochettino played very good open attacking play, and you went to one of the most pragmatic guys in Mourinho. Now, Mourinho has an excellent history of winning, but if your players cannot play that brand of football, you cannot get a coach to do that. Giovanni Lo Celso is one of the greatest examples of that. The guy was never a number 8 in Spain. He was a 10, a false 9, or a winger, and they tried converting him to a number 8. So you're trying to put a round figure into a square hole. It doesn't work that way. On top of it, on the financial side of things, there's no reason that this club is doing what it's doing. You guys are bringing in more money than anybody else outside of sports with concerts and everything else. The fact that they're skimming that much money off the top shows that it's just a money-making operation. Now, for me, and I've said this to Arsenal fans when they complain about their club not operating properly with their bullshit, it's the fan base, man. I'm sorry. As a Napoli ultra and as somebody who goes to games regularly when I get a chance to go to Italy when I leave the States, you're not going to see our fans tolerate shit like this. In my honest opinion, and this is just an outsider's
Say
view,
it as you see it, mate.
The English fans are too fucking soft. You guys have gotten way too fucking soft since you guys brought in, and this is an uncomfortable conversation to be had, but when you guys accepted all of the marketing money to come in and the new rules, because the Premier League was the league that pushed PSR and pushed financial fair play, because the main reason why was none of the English teams liked the fact that the billionaire owners of Juventus, Inter Milan, or AC Milan could shell out money of their pockets and put a team together. They hated that. So now they wanted to do all this PSR and FFP bullshit. And what it's done in the turnaround is it has allowed the English ownership to dumb down the fans because they have taken the approach of the Americanization of the sport with the franchise, with trying to look at it from a franchise aspect of it. There is nobody, my club barely does over 230 million euros in revenue a year. I'm not hearing none of this bullshit about, especially for me, we've barely spent over 500 million over the last 5 years, and we've won.
I mean, money. Sorry to interrupt you a sec. Money in Italy at the moment isn't great either, because if I remember right, when I last looked, Inter are my second team. There's only about 4 teams that have spent over 50 million if you include the income they've had in it. Because the money ain't there. I mean, who is it? It's Copper, the ones that have gone out there and proper spent the money, isn't it?
Napoli's the only one that spent money. And that's because we've brought in over 200 million in revenue just on transfers with Osimhen and Varashelia. But that all goes back to PSR. Again, The Premier League, when they accepted that money, wanted to handicap the three big Italian teams. Majority of the debt problem that Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter have stems back from the early 2000s period. They did that on purpose to handicap those teams from continually be able to go to the owner and Berlusconi shell out 150 million this year and then 200 million the next year. Same with Inter Milan when Massimiliano Moratti owned the team. Same thing when Agnelli didn't screw up the finances like he did now. But on the flip side of it, the English fans have gotten too soft. If Daniel Levy was the owner of Napoli and he was doing what he's doing, we'd be burning the fucking stadium down. We'd have blown his car up, done players.
Mate, you don't have to bring up. Hang on a sec, mate. You don't have to bring up that sort of shit on here. Yeah, I mean, I don't care, and I'd say a lot more to it. Trust me. Yeah, but just for the sake of YouTube, I've had to learn that over 2 years and nearly got myself in it as well.
Gianni, can I say something? Right, like I wish I could show you screenshots from yesterday from our like Polish Spurs fan supporters groups after the whole Eze thing like blown out, right? I wish I could, because they are in Polish obviously, so you won't understand it, right? And I'm not going to translate it because I don't want to get demonetized, right? But I kid you not, like hundreds of comments, and no one was like, oh, like PSR, oh, like, you know, they tried, they something, like, trust me, a wall of like some mad shit, right? Like in the comments. And I kid you not, like I've said it plenty of times, like Daniel Levy should be happy that Premier League is the way it is, and like 100%. Fans in Britain are the way they are, right? Because if the same shit happened here in Poland or in Italy or in Serbia or in Greece or in Spain, like I don't know, France, Spain, whatever, right? Like if the same shit happens like it happened now, like phew, that would be scary for him, right? I'm not saying I'm not inciting violence or anything, right? But like the fans are fucking crazy, right? For football in Europe, right? Not in England, unfortunately, and he will get away with shit like that. Like how the fuck do you fuck up as much as he did, right? And not get consequences from the fans. It's beyond my understanding. Like some sort of consequence, like a protest, whatever, right? It's just,
you know what, mate? You've just fucking smashed that nail on the head, as so many people have said for a long, long time. Yeah, it's true. Serie A is my second league. Yeah, I follow Inter Milan. Obviously, don't love them to the point of Tottenham, but they're very close to my heart as well. Yeah, so I have a bit of an issue with you anyway, being a Napoli fan. But we're just
hey, we're big ultras over here, man.
At the end of the day, ultras or not, you won the league at the end of the day, and Inter totally fucked up that Champions League. But that's a different story, yeah? Yeah. Mate, everything you have just said is so true. I've mentioned it before and other people have mentioned it before, but I think it's where a lot of people, and it's no disrespect to anybody who don't do it, but I find a lot of people, they only follow the English Premier League, yeah? A lot of people don't follow the Italian League. I mean, if anything, they follow a bit of the Spanish league or whatever, but the Italian league for me is the one that gets the limited credit to what it should actually get. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the most tactical league out there. That's why I like the Italian football. Yeah, and you're so true. I remember it when who was it? It was Napoli as well. When they turned up on the fella's door, and basically, and AC Milan did it as well with their team, like turned up on people's doors and said, now I'm not justifying this, so we're not going to justify any of this, by the way, yeah? But if you don't pull your finger out, your wife's coming shopping with me, if people get the picture on what I'm saying, yeah? Whereas over here, the most we will do, okay, there's a couple of fan bases out there that will do something like Man U, 10,000 to turn up because they don't like the shirt or whatever. Or if you was to take it to Liverpool and they had a problem, yes, you would know about it with the Liverpool fans and that. Even the Arsenal fans went and started going toe-to-toe with each other and then joint with each other and got what they wanted. This Spurs fan base, in my opinion, is, and the saying I've got for it, I've got my saying that I use now, is it's got more apes than a bloody ounce. And only a couple of people even understand what I say when I say that. And with that one, we are split up and so bloody divided that people just can't sort of get the idea of what they want. But over here, with a majority of English fans, I find they haven't got, there's passion in the game, but they haven't got the heart that I find a lot of other foreign leagues have got, especially the Italian league. I mean, in the Brazilian league, I've heard of things happening. Not that I justify anything, Yeah. Not that I justify the way it goes in there. It goes a bit OTT there, in my opinion. Yeah, but you're right on what you're saying. We've let this happen.
Well, the other thing I was going to add to that is it's also scouting. You guys, Arsenal have gotten scouting wrong so bad over so many years, it doesn't make any sense right now. Like, for instance, Dovbyk, who's the striker at Roma, who is the top goal scorer for La Liga 2 years ago, is available for 30 million euros. Why isn't Spurs or a team like Arsenal that need another type of striker as well aren't looking at something like that? The other problem is that I feel like a lot of the English fans want the Premier League to be like how the three big Italian teams were back in its heyday, of nothing but constant Hollywood purchases and not smart purchases to actually fill it out so you can do everything that you need to do. You can't waste all your money just on one specific person and think, oh, this is going to be the thing that changes the club. Yeah, that's if it's the tail end and it's just the final piece you need. You can't look at it as this one big guy once every year is going to get you there. It doesn't work that way. And that's the other thing with the Serie A. We're so cash strapped. The sporting directors have to figure out how to be able to get through all the loopholes to keep everything moving forward. And it's not like that. All the teams, look at Arsenal. Arsenal barely is able to sell players. If Arsenal didn't have the Premier League finances coming in, they'd be bankrupt like Juventus. Their highest sale in their history is only like £37.5 million. And they've spent over $1 billion in the past. They have spent almost 1.4 billion euros since they signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but have hardly sold anybody. The problem with the English is they only rely on this revenue. They don't do anything smart, and the chickens will come home to roost. And you see it, especially with Spurs. I don't know how bad it is, but how bad are the finances of them against the books to pay off the stadium?
Mate, we are one of the, this is proven. This is what I keep telling people, yeah? 2 points you're making there, yeah? I have been saying to people, if we want to go shopping, go over to Italy, because at the moment in Italy is where the money is not. I mean, like I said, you've only got about 3 or 4 teams that have actually technically spent money, if you include the revenue they've had come in, yeah? At the moment, the league is not in a good place, and there is some excellent players out there. I mean, I feel Spurs could go out there and get Edison for about 50, 55 mil. Yeah, right. I know Atalanta are in the Champions League, whatever else in that, but they are not a big club at the end of the day and need the bloody money. And so, I mean, even AC Milan don't even make the money and the revenue that fucking Crystal Palace make, for God's sake, on TV, on this and on that. Spurs are one of about, 4 teams I could name that can actually support themselves without having to sell players, without having to win anything, being able to finish bloody 15th in the league if we did or whatever, and still have revenue to support ourselves. We're one of the few teams that can actually do that. Other teams can't do that, and especially in Italy. And you seem to still be getting the job done out there and getting the players in.
Dad, can I just
can I just say
something?
Go on, mate.
The problem is we shouldn't have to be doing that. Like, as a club, we are massive. Trust me, we are massive, right? We should be up there with the Man Cities, the Chelseas, the Arsenals of this world. And I'll tell you why we're not. Because we don't act like it. And the problem is, it's Levy. And that's all it goes back to, Levy and this board, right? Because when people, it really annoys me when I hear people say about our club, well, you're not attractive enough, you're not big enough, you ain't got the pull that anybody. You tell me 20 years ago that Man City were a great pull? No, they weren't. They was in the 2nd division, 3rd division. But they got owners in that sold them a dream, right? They got the players in and gave them the wages. Look at them now. Chelsea were exactly the same. I remember going over to Chelsea years ago, over to Stamford Bridge, when it was an absolute toilet in an FA Cup game. 35,000 there, 25,000 Spurs fans.
Yeah, but hang on a second.
Look at them now, because the money was invested. The money was put in there. The players have sold a dream. And there you go. So don't tell me it can't be done. Because it can. Because we have got that.
Done like that anymore. It can't quite be done like that.
I'm sorry, I don't agree. I don't agree.
Well,
if you sell a player a dream, you'll get the player. and that's it for me. This
I
guy,
go that far. Hang on a sec.
this guy has ruined this club
Fella.
systematically.
Yes,
I've been
I
calling this
know.
guy out for 10 years. 10 years I've been calling. Before all his social media, I've been calling him out for 10 years. He has systematically ruined this club over 25 years. And I've seen it go from bad to worse. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm a lot older than you boys here. I saw the 80 Cup win, 81 Cup win, Cup Winners' Cup, UEFA Cup, you know, and all that. I saw all that, right? And when we won the UEFA Cup this year, you know, I just thought, at least I've seen us win another decent cup before I, you know, kick the bucket. You know, I was happy about that. But
if that's one way you want to put it,
these fans, and this is the only cup they're going to see, as far as I'm concerned. They're never going to see what I've seen because this man and this ball are holding this club back.
Mate, I got the picture. Hang on a second, yeah. Slow down a sec.
Sorry, I can't stand the man. It just boils my blood.
I would never have guessed. Seriously, mate, I totally get where you're coming from. Yeah, well, I understand where you're coming from, but it's not quite as easy to do it anymore because of what Chelsea and Man City did, and with the FFR, the FFP, and all that crap. Yeah, but on the other side of it, the amount of money we bring in, technically, I can only go by what I read and what I see and everything else, and that is that we actually have technically, legally, we could spend pretty much the most money in football and not get touched on the other side.
Aren't we one of the richest clubs in Europe?
It is true. Yeah,
are we not one of the richest clubs in Europe? Aren't we something in the top 15?
Newcastle, yeah, but top 8. But what I'm saying is,
top 8, there you go.
Newcastle are the richest club on the planet, but they can't spend a bloody penny because they don't bring the money in. Now the thing is, where we're in London, that is where the bloody money is at the end of the day. That is why Fulham can charge the most ticket prices in England. I think they're more expensive than us.
They're the most expensive in Europe.
Yeah, we have got the money to do it and the capability of doing it. Liverpool basically went a season without spending any money to then be able to do what they've done this year with winning the league and that. So technically, we could go out and do it to an extent. It's just not quite as simple anymore as you put it. But we've got the money there. And
I always say, like, you know, when people say, you know, we get the semi-finals and we can't get over the line. This is why we can't get over the line, because Eze won't buy it. People like Eze and the other players that Levy's let through his fingers is that one or two players that will get us over the line. You know, winning UEFA Cup, great, but we won against a real shit Man United side. Let's get it right. They was poor.
I agree.
You know, and we was lucky, to be fair, but, you know, you take it. But at the end of the day, like Champions League or other FA Cup semi-finals and all that, that one or two players that he could have brought in to get us over the line, and he just won't do it. And like even with the Champions League, he didn't push on from there. He didn't say, right, well, let's go and get another few players in and let's push on for it next season. No, what did he do? Tore it up and threw it in the bin, because he doesn't want to spend that money, because it means if we win any big major trophies and keep winning trophies, that means he's got to keep
consistently spend it.
He's got to keep consistently doing it like Liverpool and Man City, and it's the one thing that he doesn't want to do. And we are stuck with people like Brian Johnson, like Brendan Johnson.
Hang on a second, mate. Slow down a sec. You're gonna like wind yourself right up.
Because I love this club, mate. I've followed this club for over 50 years, and I've just seen it crumble, completely crumble.
I get the picture, and we all feel the same. Yeah. The one thing I will say though is that Champions League final, we was good enough to beat Ajax. We was good enough to beat who else was it? We done Man City. We was good enough to beat everybody else. And for me, in that final, I think we actually got it wrong. But after, I think Poch got it wrong. Kane should never have stepped foot on there.
I must say, I do agree with that. We should have got started with more.
But after that is where we should have pulled our finger out our ass and get our fucking act together. So hang on a sec, James. How we doing, mate?
Big up, boys. Well, personally, I'm really good, really good. Football-y, yeah, shit, to be honest. But we can't say we didn't see this coming. Huh?
Yep.
What was that? What did someone say?
Oh no, I just said Vicaria out. Just
shut up, Eugene.
So basically,
we knew it was. I said that this was going to happen the moment it come over. A week. No transfer should take longer than a week maximum. But people were saying to me,
2.5 weeks, and Arsenal get it done within 4 hours.
Yeah, I know. Let James say his bit. You've had your bit. Let James say it as well. I get you frustrated, mate. We're all fucking pissed off, yeah? But you got to let other people get their bit in as well. I know, otherwise, no one.
Sorry, I apologise.
No, mate, no apology needed, yeah? I can see you're pissed off. I think we can all notice that because I think we all are. Go on, James. Carry on what you're saying.
Yeah, for me, I was saying it quite a bit that this is going on for too long. I said it the same with Morgan Gibbs-White, and then people were saying, but it's the owner of Crystal Palace. He's so hard to deal with. He's blah blah blah. And I said, but we're talking about the price. The same price we're looking at bidding is the same price as the release clause. I think it was 500k off of the release clause. This should have been done before pre-season. It's ridiculous. We see it every single season. When is enough enough?
That is the question. James, where do you think we're going to go from here?
For me personally, I don't care. I know that probably sounds a bit stupid and sort of self-neglecting, but I'd almost cut my nose to spite my face. I don't care anymore. I think it's been torture. This one's gone on for 2 weeks. The Morgan Gibbs-White before that was 3 weeks. So this is like 5 weeks continuously. Enough's enough. I don't care who you get in. Rodrigo on loan, I'm not bothered. Enough's enough.
No, I agree with it. And everything Nick said as well. I know I'd slow him down because health is more important than anything else. And he's 100% right on what he was saying. I can't argue with anything he bloody said there. I mean, and we're also getting the picture from Gianni, if I'm saying your name right. I'm terrible at foreign names, by the way, yeah? I can just about say Smith and Jones properly. But that's just where I was brought up. And you've gone and banged the nail on the head as well. And Gianni, I've left you a message on the private chat as well if you want to have a look at it. So from someone who's not a Spurs fan, but you obviously like your football and you obviously must have something of a like for Spurs, otherwise you wouldn't watch it, I would presume, or is it you just watch football in general sort of thing?
I watched the Premier League. I was sort of as a kid lean toward Arsenal over Spurs, but I'm an overall Premier League fan.
Kick him.
But I'm not listening. Arsenal is a disgrace of a club anyways. Because I hate the manager. The way they run is absolutely fucking stupid. Sorry for the language again. And their owners are just as bad, if not worse than Levy, because you could see what the owners do in America.
No,
I'm not having that.
They're spending 100 million on Rice. They're getting Eze. They buy,
But here's the
thing. Tell me.
Can I ask you a question? Yep. Can I ask you a question? Raya or Vicario?
Vicario. That's not even close.
Yeah, he can stay.
Oh, no.
He can stay.
No, get him.
Thank you.
Boot him.
Do you know what? This is the thing. What you got to remember here. Right now, this is what happens. This show should be obviously about, and all shows right now always starts what's going on with this board, how do we get him out, how do we do it, and then it goes back to anything fucking but.
Fair.
We have a major problem with this football club right now.
Yeah, because Brian, they're not doing. The fans won't do it. Like when back in the day, let me tell you something. Back in the day, in the late 70s, when I started first going, when I was like 14 or whatever it was, or maybe a bit younger, and in the early 80s and that, the fans wouldn't have stood for this. They were hardcore fans. We got fans now that just don't give a fuck. They sit in that stand, right, and they get their proper seating, they get entertainment, they get this, that, and don't give a fuck. It's all about the new. You've got to be in the top four. You've got to stay in the Premiership. They don't give a monkeys. Winning trophies, I don't care. I just don't care.
Problem is,
it's a day out. It's a fucking day out, and that's all it is.
I bet that. But the problem is, and this is a problem in football now, yeah? Now, let's just take it. We did have owners who do want to take us to the next level, yeah? Who do want to make us succeed. What is going to take an English team further and be able to make them go further as a club in the long run? Finishing in the top 4 for the next 4 years, or finishing 10th for the next 4 years and doing the FA Cup straight for 4 years?
Yeah, top 4.
It's top 4.
It's top 4, isn't it?
I'm not saying it's what I like, but what I've asked you, Nick.
I mean, I don't like it either, but that's the reality. That is the reality.
It is true.
I mean,
so basically,
as soon as Wenger said top 4's a trophy, that was it.
Are you saying to force the owners out? Those are the two decisions? Or
I think this club needs to go down to force the owners out. I truly believe that.
Too much money.
Brian,
our team is worth too much. All the businesses around, it's impossible to force them out if they don't want to sell. That's not unfortunately, even
yes, but you can make it uncomfortable for them. And the trouble is, we ain't got enough fans that make it uncomfortable. We've got 2,000 or 3,000, you know, that go down there and, you know, like Brian and that, like put their heart and soul in it all. But you got fans there, mate. They just don't give a monkeys. You know, we got 62,000 people in that stadium, and 2,000 go on a march. Come on, you know, it's not even scratching the surface, is it? Really? You've got to make it uncomfortable. You have to make it so uncomfortable for the man that he just can't tolerate it anymore.
Nick,
can I ask Brian something? Can I ask Brian?
One sec, and I'll come to you, James. Yeah? The thing is, you're right on what you're saying, yeah. But it has got to a point where Spurs fans, and like Gianni said, basically where it is so weak, this fan base. I mean, England is just nothing like Italy and whatever else, but we've let it happen to us as such. But the other bit I will say is that, okay, we won the trophy, excellent, and loved it, but then 300,000 people turn up there nearly, whatever, and that. Absolutely love it. Everything goes quiet for a while. Everything's cushy. Now all of a sudden this has happened. People have got the right fucking ump again. And if we go and get a decent player, or we go and beat Man City, I bet you
they'd want to be happy again.
Hang on. Exactly. And then a lot of people will be happy again. And then you're just toxic negative. And
I'm the same as, you know, obviously Sabbath, like, he's got his own show and that, but like I spoke to him a couple of times. I'm the same as Sabbath. I stopped going 10 years ago because I refused to put my money hard earned into his pocket. Because I know I'm being bent over and given it straight up the arse by him. Totally. And that's a fact.
Vaseline either, yeah?
Exactly. Take it hard, mate. Bent over like a pretzel. You know what I mean? And giving it right fucking hard. Because he is ripping us off. He's ripping us off, mate. And he's sitting up there laughing. He's sitting out there, he's laughing at all you fans, all of us. He's laughing at us.
I get it. You're right. And James, I'll come to you. I mean, the last thing I say to that, mate, I mean, the detail you give, bit explicit, but I totally agree with what you're saying.
I apologise, but that's how I feel about him, man. Every time someone mentions his name, I get irate.
After what, I gathered that. After what just happened with Eze, we might as well walk like John Wayne, for fuck's sake. James, go for it.
Brian, first of all, I hope you're well, brother. I have a couple of questions about the change for Tottenham and stuff like that. I watched I'm not sure if it was Sava yesterday or today, but I think he made a very, very good point in saying, what are we protesting for? You've got some people saying change for Tottenham, they're protesting for change. Some people saying they're wanting leaving Enoch out. Some people they're saying we just want investment. Some people they're saying we want Eze, so on and so on and so on. My question is, and a bit of a statement, I don't think that's ever going to work because nobody's protesting for one thing. They're protesting for loads of different things. I think that there needs to be one message, one motive, one momentum, like one, rather than it be change for Tottenham or the Kulu song or, I don't know, money before glory or whatever it is. I think, and the question to you is, what do you think? Is every banner should be exactly the same? In my opinion, every single banner should be Levy out, Enoch out, or change for Tottenham, or back the manager, whatever it is. Because I don't feel like everybody on a different page works. What do you think? What do you think's the right way to go? Are we doing it the right way?
Don't you remember though, James? How long have I been saying that? Like, what was this protest actually about? Was it about Enoch, Levy out? I just say Enoch, it covers everyone as far as I'm concerned. Enoch covers Levy a lot, yeah?
Yeah.
was a lot of people there because they just wanted Ange out and we was doing that bad and everything else. And I brought that up again this morning, and I've been saying it for about 4 months now.
I've just got to go, Lou, lads. I'll be back.
Go for gold, mate. Don't let us hold you back. And in that aspect, it's
Jesus Christ.
No, if he needs to go, let him go. And with that one,
I got to shoot too, guys. Have a good
yeah,
rest of your stream.
great for having you on. And I sent you my number on there. I'd love to have you on here again. Yeah, brilliant. Another Italian follower on here. Love to have you on here, mate. And you obviously know what you're talking about as well. Good to have you on. Thanks a lot, mate.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Take care. And it is at that point where I asked Stel this morning, what do we need to do? I mean, I'm asking questions. Do we need to do it in a political sort of manner that you open up that side so it isn't just Levy out and you're giving people the options of why you want change here and everything else? Or is it just got to be based on one thing? What has it got to be? Because I think one of the problems is when you do just look at something and there's all someone has got as blind hate for something, it does actually turn people off to the other side a bit. And that's just being political. Whether people like it or not, it does work like that. So maybe it should be that little bit more open at the point whether it doesn't matter what they want ENIC out for, whether it's for we don't make the transfers, we don't do this, we don't do that. They want ENIC out full stop. Not just that it's pure hate on Daniel Levy out and everything else. Because at the end of the day, I think if Levy fucks off, I don't think much is going to change, if I'm going to be honest, because ENIC's here. I think Brian's got it perfect on his shirt. The problem is at the very top.
See, I think that. Sorry, Brian. I know I asked you a question then. I you haven't even answered. I think that sometimes the more people stand in, say for example, just talking about protest, the more people stand in there catches the eye. But I think even if there was, I would like going like into war. I would rather have 100 army men ready to fight than I would 1,000 people standing around doing nothing. If that makes sense.
Well, it does. Divided and conquered, isn't it? It's much easier to fight 8 different armies than it is to fight one big one, isn't it? And that is what Levy has done with us. Divide and conquer, basically.
But look, with the protests, just real quick, Brian, sorry. I think the only way to get traction, I feel like, is, it's a numbers game. The more people show up, then the protests will get traction, on TalkSport, like on the media outlets. And that's the only way to embarrass, the board, right? If they're going to see it on TV, if they're going to see it on social media, that's the only way. If people show up, but that's it, I don't think it's going to make much difference, right? It needs to be all over the news. It needs to be everywhere, Sky Sports. And that's the only way for the board to take notice and to actually say, yep, now we're being embarrassed. I remember
that won't happen. That's not going to happen.
Right, but
I'll tell you for what. I'll tell you for why it's not going to happen.
Stop interrupting. Go on, Eugene.
With Liverpool,
let Eugene finish.
When they raised the ticket prices, right, and they walked out, I believe it was a big show of force or whatever by fans. It was all over the news, and that made a difference. Again, with us, I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference, but I just feel like 1,000 people outside the stadium is great, but it needs to be done in a smart way where, this would be picked up by all the media outlets. And that's the only way I feel like to embarrass the board and make him do something.
I think you get the most amount of traction with the biggest crowd possible. But as you guys have been saying, and as I've seen other people saying, the recent protests sort of organised by Change for Tottenham, like you said, Dan, it's so broad. At the end of last season, you had people marching for Levy and Intel. From what I saw, I wasn't there, so I'm only judging it based on what I saw. People marching for Levy and Intel, people singing songs about wanting Levy gone. Then you've got people who don't mind if Levy stays, but want him to change. Then you've got people who might have been there purely because the team were in 17th. People there for Ange, people there angry about transfers, maybe the director of football and the transfer strategy. There are so many different reasons that people are at these protests recently. But at the same time, I do think, like you guys have been saying, and I am sitting on the fence with this one, I do think it's the best way of getting the most amount of traction, the most amount of media coverage, and in general, the best way of hurting Levy. But how much damage it's doing, I don't know. The best, most ideal scenario for me is the amount of people marching for change for Tottenham, marching for Levy and ENIC out, and under that name. That's what I think would hurt the most. But does that happen anytime soon? I don't think so, but I hope so.
I totally agree. Right, I'm going to come to the last bit here because I must admit I do want to watch something else as well. I think it's going to be a bit.
Can I answer the question?
Grab a couple of beers. I was just about to come to you, Brian. I was just about to come to you and say, go for gold and say what you wish to say.
Cool. Right, listen. What this discussion is just shows how ridiculous this where we are as a fan base. It really, really does. People are worried about a fucking name of a protest group. Not that it's protesting. Oh, what's the name? What's the message? When it was Levy Out, a group that I was proudly part of and was brought into, not started, brought into, the message was Levy Out, Enoch Out. The hashtag was Levy Out, Enoch Out. That was the message. That was the aim. That was to get people out. It's very, very clear. Oh no, you're too aggressive with your names. There's other issues. There's other issues at this football club. It's not just Levy and Enoch. You're leaving people out. You're leaving people out. So that was the problem. And then it was, we're too aggressive in the way we're protesting, even though no one would protest, even though people said they'd protest, but they didn't protest. That could protest, I mean. So then, the people that created change for Spurs, do we all support, do we all trust the supporters' trust? No. The Tottenham Hotspur supporters trust. Does everyone go, I support that? I trust them as a supporter because they may send a strongly worded email every time we piped up. They did. Every time we piped up demanding answers, we'll send an email out asking for questions to be answered. For the board to just chuck back fucking templated answers. So people that were in that group said, you know what? We're going to step away and try something. We're going to do something more neutral for everyone to try and see what fans on both sides say. Because you have fans that are very, very happy with the way things are going. I completely disagree with them. But if that's what fans think, that's what fans think. Then you got fans like myself, and you got loads in between. And Change for Tottenham, when they did it, if you read all their stuff, all started about the ownership, the board, the chairman. Change for Spurs meant we want change at the top. That's what we want. Then, because there'd been no change at the top, all these other little splinters come up. It's the manager, it's this, it's recruitment, it's this. They tried to do that. And not only did they do things, the supporters' trust. When I did a goddamn protest outside the club shop, the supporters' trust did a fucking protest next to us complaining about Newcastle's owners. Right next to us. Right next to us. Whilst we're protesting about what we want change for our club, they're protesting against the owners for other. So when it comes to supporters' trust as a name, Change for Spurs tried to go down a path to be very, very inclusive. Not charging memberships, not doing everything at their own accord and everything out of their own pocket and doing everything. And it came from Jay after the Chelsea defeat, Liverpool defeat. What came from? Whatever. No, it's Chelsea. And he said, you know what, that's it, enough. And then he aligned with Change for Spurs. Then they started doing things. It was all about the owner. Because remember, back then, before then, before Christmas and all the injuries started kicking in, I was still Ange in. It was always about the board. Always. Then it became Ange. And then it became other things. And they've always said Change for Spurs, that their main aim is to get change at the top. Always has been, always will be. But because of the way we live in the world, it's now, well, what does change mean to you? What is change? How is change? What do we do to... Change for Spurs is change for the ownership. But this fan base, like we said, and like you say, Dan, what is it, more eighths than an ounce, or split up what?
Yeah, split up into more eighths.
There are so many little cells that I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want that. Well, none of that happens whilst these people are up here.
But, Brian, if you can get all the ones who want the little bits and this and that to fight for the overall Levy out, Doesn't that help? Because then you're getting
course
more
it does.
people on the side. That's what I'm saying. This has ended up bloody political.
No, this is but this is the thing. When we did leave Enoch out, clear message. No, that's too harsh. That's too. Now it's do it this way. Then it's do it that way. But do you know what it is? The people that are saying I don't understand the message, when it's quite clear, are the people that just do this. Just do that. They'll type something in or tweet. It has been very clear. Dan, you were walking down the road with me with 2,500 people. All leave you out chats. Not one thing about Ange. Whether they were there for Ange, whether they're all screaming leave you out. Everyone knows what the problem is.
Well, when they weren't singing
What I agree with, what needs to be that when they arranged those first two protests, they done loads of spaces. They were on all the YouTube shows. They explained themselves. Then there are times where people are like, well, how about this idea or that? That's what they got to take on board. You've got to remember as well, this is not what Change for Spurs did and what we did as leave you out, Enoch out. We did that out. Do you think I got paid to go stand outside a training ground for 12 hours a day, 16 days straight? Or giving up my time opposite a club? It's our own time, our own money, giving our own time with going on these shows. All those banners, all those Change for Spurs have to speak to the police to get clearance, have to speak to the health and safety and fire departments for the banners. There is so much work that goes behind the scenes. These people have jobs. These people have families. These people have, and there's still people saying, well, you need to do this and this and this. Well, don't talk, help. Don't talk.
Brian, let me just get a point to you there, yeah? You're right on what you're saying. But why is it no other protest does that? Every other protest says we're turning up there and that's all there is to it. They don't arrange for the police to be there.
Because it's
they don't arrange for this to happen. They don't arrange for that to happen. Because until you become a problem, until you become a pain, you ain't getting fucking noticed. Not
Dan, this is the thing. We have 50 people. Like Nick said, we have 50. I had at the training ground when I was there for 16 days, started with 3 people. Final day, maybe 100, 150. When I was doing it opposite the club shop with everyone, with Billy Cards, with Ryan Isaacs, with Graham, with Boogie, with Andrew Wright, I can keep naming names. We got up to, sometimes it could be 20, sometimes it could be 200. Change for Spurs did what they did and got a couple of thousand. There's 62,500 people there. Yep. And I know more than 2,500 people are there that want change, that will want to do something. And what will happen, you got to remember, with us, with our fan base, you got to remember, those fan bases that get up and do it, they're united as a fan base and they're prepared to do it. If we did it that way, oh my God, look at them, they're savage. They're violent.
Brian, can I just say that to you, mate? I think your problem you've got here, and I like looking, over the years from going when I used to go to now, Levy from 25 years ago, this fan base has changed so much and so drastically that it's not the same sort of fan base that we used to have when I was going. Like real hardcore, hard-working people, Saturday afternoons are only outlet and would never have stood for this. But you've got this, it's a different type of fan, different football fan now, isn't it? And these people are only interested in watching, a Saturday, like I said earlier, Saturday afternoon, sitting in comfort, watching a bit of football, and that's it for them. They're not the same fans of what we saw 30 years ago.
You say that. I mean, what was it? When I was 18, I worked at Spurs for about a year and a half, just on the, what was it? Was it on the north or south stand? It was on the north stand, if I remember right. Yeah, on the north stand. I worked there for a year and a half, and the type of people there were totally different. As all I was there was a little student, basically, but you didn't have to have a blue badge to search someone then, whereas these days you need a blue badge to do anything. And with that, you could tell it was just a whole different lifestyle then. Times have just changed now in that aspect. And in football, I think the other fella, Gianni, who come on here, said it perfect. We just have not got the same passion. We have the anger, but we don't have the same passion and the same.
But that's down to Levy. Levy has changed his fan base, Dan. It's Levy that's changed his fan base.
No,
he has.
Yeah,
he has. He's pushed
No,
them.
he
He's
might.
pushed
Yes,
them out.
he has. Yes, he has to an extent. Yes, he has. But at the end of it, it's up to the people whether they change or not. Not Levy.
I think it's the generation that's changed, not Levy. I think
Maybe you're
everyone's
right.
just-
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the thing as well, isn't it? The generation we live in now are completely different to when I was growing up. So their way of thinking is completely off the scale for me. But you know, they're my judge.
You're totally right. So Dan, you've popped on by at the end. You got something to say, mate?
Yeah, Levy's a prick. That's it.
All right.
No,
the only
thank you.
reply I
Good
can
night.
give to that, the only reply I can give to that, Dan, is no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, I know.
You'll know that one. Go on, mate.
No,
if you've
look.
got something to say and you want to have a quick rant, go for it.
No, I don't even want to rant. I can't be asked for it, to be honest.
Past that bit, innit?
Do you know? No, like I was obviously trying to be optimistic this window, right? Just because I thought, look, I'm always so pessimistic when it comes to Tottenham and everything else in life. I'm quite positive, but when it comes to this, I'm with Levy. Brian knows how I'm with him. I've been one of the ones with him from day dot. But it's like I just saw things. I thought right that we would actually go and we might actually do this. We might pull it off, right? And look, the fact is, right? I know people don't want to hear it. The fact is, Eze would have been a Spurs player if Havertz didn't get injured, right? That's a fact. I think for me, I'm gonna choose to believe that purely because the only reason Arsenal decided to move for it is because of that injury. Even Ornstein said it himself today, right? It's a massive factor in it. What I have the problem with is the fact that Spurs. Hold on, James. What I have the problem is the fact that Spurs could have tied this up a long time ago, right? Weeks ago. If they want to, as soon as Maddison, if Tottenham were acting like a big club, as soon as Maddison got injured, they should have went and slapped down that release clause while it was still active and gone and done it. And then, if Arsenal went and matched it, fair play, right? Because then it's up to the player to go and choose who he wants, right? But at that
Levy
moment,
should have come in and give another offer, shouldn't he? If he was that serious.
But the thing is, Dan, we all know as soon as Arsenal got involved and they wanted the player was always going to choose Arsenal, right? He was never going to choose Crystal Palace.
Fair point.
Tottenham.
Unfortunately, this is like waiting at the top of the aisle for your bride to come and then find out she fucked off with your best man, isn't it? You know what I mean? This is what happens.
Yeah.
This is Levy all over. Time and time again.
Let him finish, mate. Let him finish.
James, do you want to say something? You said you've got to shoot, innit?
Yeah, I've got to shoot. The only thing I agree with what you're saying, but what I would say is when you leave opportunity, it's like leaving my window open with 10 grand of cash on the windowsill. Do you know what I mean? Eventually someone's going to come in and take it.
Yeah.
So there's a matter of time. If I knew I wanted to keep that money, I shut the window. Do you know what I mean? We knew he wanted this player. He should have been done at the start of the window. There were so many opportunities. And at the end, 60 million plus the 5 million or whatever, 65 million or just under 65 million. It was a release clause anyway. So if you wanted it that bad, then do it. If you don't, you get burned.
The fact that they were haggling, right, for add-on bonuses to take it up to 67.5 million, which is what they're claiming that Arsenal match, but obviously they've got a better payment structure. If that's the case, they literally, right, have basically saved themselves over the whole deal 500 grand, right? Basically, is what they're alluding to. And for the fact that we could have done this for 500 grand more, we could have just gone with the release clause and actually gone and done it. Right?
And I don't know if it's true, but everything I've read is it's now £30 million up front. That's everything that I've read now. It's £30 million up front. So
that was the terms of the terms of the release clause.
The release clause was 320s, wasn't it? It was 20 million, 20 million, 20 million.
That's it.
So for me, not only have they been negotiating for 2+ weeks, because we was linked with him at the start of the window. So whether they've been in negotiations for 2 weeks or whatever it is, we was linked with him at the start.
Since Crystal Palace, since QPR.
this is more of a reason that Daniel Levy need to get even more stick, because it's taken them 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever you want to say, 500k less, but you're paying £10 million more, and you still fuck up the deal.
There was a rumor that we wanted to include, and there was a rumor that we wanted to include.
We tried to do Richarlison as well.
What are
We
doing?
tried to
That's
change it
embarrassing.
with that.
That's what does it for me as well, is the fact that if you're going to sell,
Boys, I've got to shoot. My phone's going to die. I've got to shoot. Big up, boys. Take care.
See you later, fam. Yeah, I was going to say, right, like the fact that they obviously tried to include, or it looks like they tried to include Richarlison into the deal, is another thing that just goes against what they're trying to build at this football club in terms of at least some kind of team ethos, right? Because he had a good first game. He had a good game against PSG, Richarlison. I'm not saying I'm one of the ones who never wanted him to sign at this club in the very first place. I never wanted him, right? But the fact that you're doing that and then not even getting the player, you're disrupting something that within the club for that player. Hopefully he's strong enough to just ignore it, basically. But it's like it makes it even worse, because you're just fucking it up even more for the players you currently have and the player you're trying to get. And what's frustrating about the deal for me is that look, I don't buy this crap, right? That yes, all right, I'm going to say this. Yes, if you support a football club, yes, that can give you an influence into a decision you make to join that football club, right? Because if you are a fan of that club, it may sway your decision. But footballers are footballers at the end of the day. If Tottenham, right, had come in and offered him a better deal or a star role, right, the fact that Eze's family actually support Tottenham apart from him, right, is another factor, which is why he wouldn't have been disappointed to come to Spurs, right? They actually wanted to come to Spurs because they've been linked with him for the last 10 years, right? So that's another thing that I don't buy this because he's an Arsenal fan, he chose Arsenal. If Spurs had gone into
Darren Bent was an Arsenal fan, he came to Spurs, didn't he?
Exactly. This is. Do you know how many footballers go to play their rival teams that they supported as kids?
Dan, basically what you're saying,
cash is king, mate. You pay the money, you get the player.
Yeah,
simple.
Exactly. And the problem that we have
money talks.
Is that, yeah, of course it does. And the problem is Levy haggled. And look, we don't know whether Palace were playing Tottenham in terms of holding out because they had a feeling that Arsenal were going to come back in. Right, but I think what probably happened is that as soon as they got that injury to have it on Sunday, I reckon they went straight to Palace and said, "Right, we want to do the deal that we agreed before."
Danny, Palace doesn't care who to sell to. Whoever pays more,
of course not.
That's who they're going to sell to.
But
that's not what he's saying.
No.
Exactly.
No, I know that, but I'm saying that the fact that as soon as Havertz got that injury, I reckon that Sunday that he got that injury, they were on the phone to Palace saying, let's pick up from the deal we previously agreed a month ago, right? And let's do it, right? And then what they probably did was iron out the terms so it's more favorable than the ones that Tottenham had offered on the table, right? And that's exactly why they would have said yes to that deal. Is because they probably heard Ornstein saying that they got wind of Spurs talks not going too well, right? And it nearly collapsed. So they thought, okay, let's go in and just smash it out the park. And they basically, from what it sounds like, is they offered better terms, more money up front. And the fact that Tottenham were playing around saying that we didn't want Eze to play because of the penny pinching that Daniel Levy was doing, right? And the fact that Arsenal basically said, well, we're going to give you a lot more up front, but he ain't playing. And look, he's not playing tonight. It's just like, that's what makes it laughable. It makes it
with
even
what
more
you're
funny.
saying there, mate. With what you're saying, I 100% agree. I said it at the start. I said it this morning. What I personally, I mean, at the end of the day, we ain't there. I personally think I'm a firm believer of that. There's a lot of players out there that are more mercenary than people realise. And even if it ain't mercenary, it's a job at the end of the day, yeah? And I think that some people have got to understand that times have changed and not every player is a John Terry. Not every player is a Steven Gerrard. Not every player, and the reason I do mention Terry is because he loved Chelsea and he was a Chelsea man through and through. Same as Steven Gerrard and same as other players you can go through in life whose heart was with their club.
But Dan, you say that, right? But hold on. You say that, but listen, Steven Gerrard nearly left Liverpool twice. He nearly went to Real
I know
Madrid
that,
and Chelsea.
but he's one of the better options I can give.
I know,
you
but
can
what
still
I'm
say
saying
his
is,
heart was there. You offer the money.
Guys, before you carry on, I need to go. So I'm just going to quickly jump off. Dan, thanks for having me on. I've just put the link. I've just put the link in for the show that I recorded. So if anyone wants to go watch me have a Levy and Enoch rant, once this is done, I will go there. Everyone have a good evening. Dan, we will catch up, brother. Nick, nice to meet you.
Bye, mate. I'll talk to you.
And much love. Everyone in the chat, much love. And as always, Levy out.
Yeah. And this is the last bit I'm going to say on it because I want to go have a beer in that as well. Dan, I'll make you 100% right. What I think it is you put that money on the table, and now I do get it. Contracts can be awkward, buying this can be awkward. But at the end of the day, if you want it, put the fucking money on the table when it talks. Arsenal just proved that. I believe they'd already spoke to him, whatever, a while back, but they didn't go for him because he wasn't as much of a necessity as such, yeah? It was like, okay, we've got this and that. We haven't quite got the money to put it down. Do we desperately need him this and that? And I reckon they held it aside for a bit. I think we fucked about too much. If we'd have put the money down 2 weeks ago, it would have fucking happened. When it happened with Havertz, they realised, right, we're up shit street. We're having him. Right, what did Spurs offer you? Right, we're going to give you this and this and this.
Yeah.
Game over. Put the money on the table. Money bloody talks. You go and offer a player who, okay, it's a big difference between Spurs and Arsenal, but you go offer a player an extra 80 grand to another team, I think you'll get a lot of players that will come over for the extra 80 grand. You're going to get the top ones that will go for the big team, but money talks.
But that's the thing. The only thing when you're going up against the bigger clubs, they're going to, if say Tottenham offer 280 grand just as a, for argument's sake, then they'd turn around and say, well, Tottenham have offered me this. Can you match that or do better? Right. And if they say no, then he's going to make his decision where he wants to go. And if they say yes, then he wants to get, if he can get the money that he wants, and then also for the club he wants to go to, he's going to pick them. And that's simple. And for me, it's a complete negligence from the club, and the fact that they've just had their pants pulled down and basically fucked from Marinakis and Parish, right? Just goes to show how bad this ownership really is. And I don't care who we get in, to be honest with you, because the fact that Arsenal went and got a player they didn't really need, but elevates them, and we desperately needed him. And the fact that we didn't even bother going full throttle. And the fact that it pisses me off, the fact that apparently it was 67.5 million is what both teams agreed in principle, which is literally 500 grand off the release clause. I mean, it's pathetic. 500 grand, like 500 grand, really. Like that's how pathetic it is. It's a joke. It's honestly a joke. But
when it comes down to it, mate, I totally agree with you in the aspect of it's not going to work every time. I know that, and I get there's complications. But at the end of the day, money talks. You put that money on the table, people turn their head. Anything has a price. Maybe
wasn't it Mudryk who was holding up the Arsenal shirt a couple of years back? And then Chelsea came with the offer, big money, gave him a big wage, and off he was virtually he was holding the Arsenal shirt up. And then he ended up at Chelsea because he was offered bigger money.
Exactly.
I mean,
and money does talk. But look, I'm going to have to end it there because I am bloody hungry and I also need a beer. Right. Thanks for everyone for coming on. Thanks for
having me on, Dan, mate. Cheers.
Much appreciated. And again, if more people on the chat want me to do a chat-in, then come on to the show. And right, I'm going to send you over, even though everyone's probably already over there, to top 5. I'm sure there's going to be some something amusing on there.
Yeah, Lubo probably.
So I'm going to. So let's just say it'd be amusing. So at least go on there and just say hello from Hotspur Hood. I don't ask very often, but I'm very near 5K now. I think I'm about 70 away. So if you give us a quick like and subscribe, it would really help. People, have a good day. And you know what? Levy, fuck off.
Take it down.